Ba 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 da 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 da. Ba 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 da 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 da. A viewer on a mixer? That's odd. Oh, this never happens. I feel like the music changed. Oh, we finally unlocked one. That's nice. All right. Gonna go take a quick bathroom break. And I mean break. We didn't even start yet. But you know what I mean. Alright, folks, we are ready to start for real. How is everybody doing today? Very excited to get back into this. Been really enjoying this. Fun to do. VODs on YouTube started going up. People, very much actually watching the VODs, which I was a little surprised by. But yeah, got a couple views, which I was like, hey, oh yeah, all right, very cool. Started the stream a little early today, but not too early. Hoping to go for a little bit, get a bunch done, maybe even get to Act 3 in one go, because you know, I'd like to see how this game proceeds and ends. So we're gonna get right into it. Loader game. Where the fuck did I live off? Be this one. All right. Man, do I regret staying up late yesterday. I knew it would be a bad idea. I knew I'd struggle staying awake in class. In ways more than one, I really am my own worst enemy. Wearily, I pull myself back to the land of the living, determined to make an effort to pay attention to Sakurai. Would anyone care to give me a brief recap of the events that took place at the start of the war? It's alright, don't all line up at once. I grin at him, marveling at how his humor is possibly the only thing keeping me awake. I hope he doesn't ask me, though. It's hard enough staying awake, let alone actively contribute. Luckily, Shiori spares me from that possibility, giving him a perfect answer. Well explained. Your teacher definitely deserves a pay raise. He chuckles to himself, carrying on. Well, I paid attention for a couple of minutes. That means I'm entitled to a nap, right? Hey, Moles. Yeah? She looks shyly at the ground. Do you think we'll be friends forever? What do you mean? Like, we're pretty young, and we've been friends for a while. When we move to junior high school, we'll still be friends, right? And even when we move to high school. Hey, Sayuri, where's this coming from? Of course we will be. You're my best friend. I always enjoyed hanging out with you. You're my best friend too, Moles. You've always been really nice to me. I don't want to lose that. Sayuri, you're being so silly. I know. I have an idea. Something that means we'll always be friends. Oh, what? Okay. Alright, okay. Jumping right to that. Alright. Cool. We should get married. Married? But isn't that what grown-ups do? Yeah, but we're 8 now. That's a pretty big number. Anyway, what do you think? If we're married, does that mean we'll be friends forever? I think so, yeah. I mean, my parents are friends, and they're married, so that must mean that's how it works, right? Okay. How do we, do it then? I think we have to get a grown-up to say it. Let me go find Mommy. Hang on. Mommy. Oh, God. I can't. Already, I'm just stuck with something that's like, oh, God. This is... Whew. Yes, darling. What's up? I can't even, like... This is something that kids do. I've seen kids do it. It's really stupid, but I've seen them do it. Kids are fucking stupid. That's what I'm getting at. Kids, really fucking dumb. Me and Sayori are getting married. Marriage, eh? My, that's really mature of you. She smiles fondly at both of us. Oh, you two are so cute together. But being married isn't easy, you know. You'll have to support each other, and more importantly, you'll have to do special things for your partner. Like what? My mom leans forward, a playful look in her eyes. Things like sharing your chocolate, Sayori. Sayori gasps. Do you think you could do that? And Moles, you'll have to compromise too. What does that mean? Well, let's say that one day you wanted to play video games, but Sayori wanted to go to the park. What would you do? Easy. We'd go outside first, then come in and play. Come on, Mommy. That marriage stuff is so easy. Oh, if it were that easy. Well, you're clearly ready then. Yeah, that's what I thought. We'll be best friends forever. Even in 50 years? Even in 50-100! Wait, that's a big number, right? At the start, I'm jolted back to the present. Geez, this isn't the kind of history I expected to learn about when I started this class. Man, where did it all go wrong? We used to be inseparable. Best friends until the end, no matter what happened. I know we're talking and getting along again these days, but there were a good few years where we had no contact. And she said she loves being around me and didn't want to lose what we had, even though she probably felt estranged as we began to adrift. As Sakurai talks, an uncomfortable feeling of guilt bubbles up within me. But we're friends now, right? There's no sense in lamenting on the past. Now, everyone, open up your textbooks to the segment on trench warfare. I want you to write out the main features. What it was, how it worked, and how both sides tried to break it off. Well, looks like I can't get away with just idly listening in the background anymore. After a while, the bell rings, the usual stampede occurs, with students eager to head to lunch. As I'm making my way over to the courtyard, I spot Natsuki. Hey Natsuki, how are you doing? Oh, it's you. I'm alright, I guess. There's an awkward moment of silence. A given, I suppose. This is one of my first times talking to Natsuki one-on-one. Looking forward to the Halloween party? Should be fun, I guess. By the way, I don't suppose you've seen Sayuri, have you? Don't you guys walk to school together? Yeah, but she wasn't there this morning and wouldn't reply to my text. I ended up walking home alone. Huh, weird. No, I haven't seen her. I'll tell you if I see her, though. Thanks. I'm on my way to have lunch, if you want to join. No, I'm good. I've already eaten anyway. Oh, okay. See you around. She dismissively leaves and turns away. I wonder if she's like this with everyone she meets. I don't have much time to ponder the question, so I once again spot Yuri on my way to the courtyard. With Sayuri absent, I don't really feel like sitting alone. Hey, Yuri. She jumps, instinctively looking around. At first, she's clearly startled, although a gentle, if slightly nervous smile slowly replaces the look of surprise. Ah, Mulls. Sorry, I didn't expect you. I'll stop being a ninja one day, I promise. She laughs softly, closing her book and pulling out a box of food. I was on my way to the courtyard to eat, and I was wondering, would you like to join me? Me? Are you sure? Yeah, why not? Well, if you're sure. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that Sayuri isn't with you. Oh, I was going to ask you about her. Have you seen her around by any chance? I can't say I have. I would have thought you'd know where she was of all people. Yeah, I know. She wasn't here this morning, so we didn't walk to school together. She's not answering my calls either. It's a little strange. Maybe she isn't feeling well. Maybe. Sensing my disquiet, Yuri makes a tentative step in leading the conversation. Anyway, how are you finding school? It's alright, I guess. Could be better, could be worse. History's going well, low. Sakurai makes the lessons really interesting. Yes, he's certainly one of my favorite teachers. I've always found that an enthusiast teacher really makes a world of difference when it comes to lessons. Pretty much, yeah. I mean to ask you something, actually. Yes? What are your thoughts on Halloween? You know, given you like horror so much. Well, are you sure you want to know? I'd hate to bore you. Not at all. I asked you specifically, after all. It wouldn't bore me in the slightest. Well, to be truthful, while most people typically feel frightened by all the monsters and horror villains that come out to play, Halloween, ironically enough, makes me feel safer. Why's that? I feel like I belong, if that makes sense. That's not weird, is it? Yuri, seriously, you don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to make fun of you or anything, I promise. What do you mean by belong? Well, it's a day where most people get into the spirit of horror. It's only for one day. It's a day where the macabre becomes the norm. I get a sense of belonging from it, because Halloween is typically comprised of horror stories, movies, etc. Although I'm not much of a fan of the commercialism, it detracts a little from Halloween's actual meaning. Oh, you mean all the cheesy bats, spiders, and skeletons that hang up in stores, right? Precisely. Yeah, that's understandable. I'll admit, I'm not huge on horror, but Halloween's always been pretty fun. Sarah and I used to prank each other, scare each other with stories, that sort of thing. Obviously, we haven't done that in a good few years. Another pang of guilt. Spending such a day with someone else, I imagine that must be wonderful to share. Haha, it's definitely something. We carved pumpkins together over the weekend. Well, we'll be bringing them to the club, actually, so you can check them out. I'll look forward to it. Back to your initial question, though. As frightening as horror villains can be, I would be hard-pressed to deny that their personalities or motives are interesting. Take Frankenstein's monster, for instance. The very fact it isn't given a name, and only referred to as a monster, makes you think it would behave as a mindless beast. Yet once it's created, it is unaware of its own identity, and even becomes frightened. It's even able to forge relationships with a family of peasants, and even save a human girl. Yet it is continually misunderstood, even being shot for its efforts. Even after being mistreated by its creator, it still mourns its creator's death. Hardly the behavior and emotion you expect of a difficult monster to display, don't you think? Well, I can always count on Yuri for thought-provoking discussion, that's for sure. When you put it like that, I can definitely see what you mean. I guess just by labeling something as a monster, people automatically assume it'll behave like one, right? So, in giving it a personality and, well, human emotions, it does make you question whether the monster is really, well, a monster. Definitely. It's honestly fascinating. The rest of lunch break passes by in a blur. Before I know it, the bell has rung and it's time to go. Well, that was another day over. Sayuri's been on my mind all day, no matter how hard I try to distract myself. She's probably just ill, given the stuff she eats. I guess it was bound to happen sooner or later. Still, can't hurt to check for myself. Hey, Sayuri, it's me. Was just wondering if you were okay, because you didn't come to school today. Some muffled shuffling as I hear footsteps slowly walk towards the door. You didn't have to. I just wasn't feeling well, that's all. I'm trying to sleep it off, so that's why I missed your calls. Sorry. No worries. Hey, what do you have? A sore throat? Fever?
I just got a really bad headache, and I'm feeling really dizzy.
I can get some stuff from the pharmacy if you'd like. Should make you feel better.
No, it's okay. I think I'll be fine. Don't you worry about me.
As she's talking, I can't help but notice what a mess the room is. I know Sarah has never been on a neat side, but this looks worse than usual. Oh, are you taking medicine for your headache already?
Huh?
She frantically follows while I'm pointing to swiftly hide some medicine packet in her pocket.
Oh, those. You see, yeah, see, you don't have to get medicine for me after all.
Right. Anyway,
I'm sorry if I'm not in the mood to talk. This headache is a real meanie. If you don't mind, I'm gonna try and get some more sleep. See ya.
Sorry, wait. What is it, Malls?
Okay, I know you're concerned about me. It's really sweet. But for once, can you just stop it? I'm okay. I'm just really tired, not feeling myself.
I stared at her.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. I'm just really not in a good mood right now.
It's okay, I guess. It's on me for worrying too much, huh? Well, I hope you feel better, Sayori. A soft click on the door is my only response. There's something going on here I'm not realizing. The nightmares, the day where she's not herself, the refusal to accept my help, and the next day she's totally fine, back to her true self. Gah! Am I just overreacting? You had you just worry about her too much. Thinking about it, if the roles were reversed, would I find her overbearing? Although I didn't have anything to hide. Well, as Mom said, I have to give it time. All I guess I can do is wait. Hopefully it'll be that simple. For now, I'll just play along with her and try and dial back my concern. As tough as that'll be. Do they not teach you kids about what fucking depression is? Like, come on. Come on, dude. Pull it together. I guess when I was in high school, I didn't see it coming when my friends told me they were depressed. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on them, but like, come on. The refreshing crispness in the air, the vibrant flurry of reds and oranges and yellows gently swirling down from the treetops. It's definitely autumn, and with autumn comes Halloween. While I'm not into horror as much as someone like Yuri, I've always enjoyed Halloween. It gives me a good excuse to indulge in all things horror, not to mention prank friends and enemies. Man, Sayori and I used to go all out on each other when it came to Halloween pranks. Speaking of, she's late, as usual. Sayori, there you are. Hurry up or we'll miss out on all the fun.
I'm going as fast as I can. I took a little nap after school, so I was putting on my costume.
A little nap, huh? Something tells me that this nap was more than just a cat nap.
Well, you look pretty nice at least.
A cowgirl, huh? Liking the Halloween twist on it. Has a really cool vibe to it.
You look great as well, Malls. I haven't seen you in costume for ages. It really brings back memories.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, can you believe that I actually put effort into this? I laughed to myself, and there I was, thinking I'd outgrown Halloween, yet here I am.
Well, you have to. It's Halloween, after all. I was just wondering what the others are going to look like.
A question lingers in my head as we make our way to the school. Along the way, I spot a couple of other people, also dressed up. One guy doesn't look too out of the ordinary. Brown fedora and green sweater. In his glove, there's a good way. It's a spot of row blades. Now, go in here. Sensor nudity is on. Skip Halloween is off. Had to double check. Have to be safe. Upon closer inspection, his face looks charred and burned. Impressive makeup, to say the least. Sayori flinches as she passes him.
Well, I don't like the look of that guy, and it'll give me nightmares.
Whether that was an intentional pun or not is up for debate.
Ooh, look at them, Malls.
I can't help but grin when I see Sayori pointing to a group effort with one person in a brown-green Great Dane dog onesie. Next to him stands a nervous-looking guy with shaggy brown hair, while a confident-looking blonde man leads the pack, accompanied by two women. It's a pretty good contrast from the costume we saw beforehand. The walk to the school feels more like a parade, with a variety of characters ranging from horror to cute, western to eastern. A creepy-looking pale girl with jet black hair covering her face ambles past us with words. Sayori clings to me.
Why do people have to dress up so scarily?
Well, it is Halloween.
I know. It's just that some of these costumes and the makeup are so convincing.
I squeeze her hand gently.
Sorry, they're just people having fun.
Look, I'll say hello to the next one. You'll see that they're just celebrating Halloween. There's nothing to be afraid of. She doesn't look very convinced, but nods anyway. The next person to walk by doesn't look too scary. Kind of just like a janitor, with dark overalls and expressionless white mask. Well, the mask is a bit unsettling, but at least okay, never mind. He's got a huge knife. Nice costume. Man doesn't reply, although he does stop walking. Now he's just standing there wordlessly, looking at us both. I don't think this is doing Sayori any favors. You, on your way to a party? No response. He tilts his head as his fingers fiddle with the hilt of the knife. Well, Sayori tugs at my sleeve as the man carries on walking.
Maybe he was a mime.
Sure, let's go with that. The school grounds look completely different at night. With the lights out and the usual noises absent, the whole building has a totally different vibe. I can't help but shiver slightly as we draw closer. It's crazy how the hustle and bustle of peace really brings it to life.
With all of that gone, the sleeping school really looks like the typical haunted buildings you see in horror movies. The windows, devoid of any light, are sinister and uninviting. The faint light of the moon basks in the grounds in an eternal, ethereal glow. Either way, we must be the only students who are breaking into school to celebrate Halloween. Hardly the most wild of places to break into, but the sights in front of me confirms that it's perfect for the festivity. Malls. Don't tell me you're scared, Sayuri. Hey, you are too! I puff my chest out in a comedic display of fox bravado. Am not? She playfully rolls her eyes. If you say so. By the way, where are the others? Right behind you. I can't help but let a yelp of surprise and an unexpected voice cause me to jump out of my skin. Meanwhile, Sayuri is in a furious fit of giggles, shaking with laughter. Hey, what's so funny? Don't tell me you weren't scared either. I saw her coming. Monica holds out an expression torn between sympathy and amusement. Sorry, Malls, but it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. You should have seen your reaction. Ha ha. I pull a face. Very funny. Nice costume, by the way. It's just a troll. Aha, thank you. I wasn't sure what to go with in the end. It felt weird putting on a costume. I can't even remember last time I did anything for Halloween. I'm guessing it's the first time you've broken into school, huh? You shouldn't be proud of that, Malls. Come on, Monica. Where's your rebellious teenage spirit? You're a witch, after all. Aren't those meant to get up to mischief? Yeah, come on. It's going to be fun. No one will find out. In all the excitement of preparing for Halloween, I totally forgot that Monica was a perfect student. The thought of breaking in, especially into school, must be completely foreign to her. Still, sometimes you gotta have a little fun. Today of all days as well. A wry smile works her way into her face. Just for today. As it turns out, breaking into the school is kind of easy. That or we just got lucky. We managed to find a window that's unlocked. The interior of the darkened school looks just as spooky as the exterior. My imagination is doing me no favors. Every sound we make seems exceedingly unwelcome, like we've stumbled into the den of a monster. Even with Sayuri and Monica near me, I can't help but feel uneasy. I was all for the idea of breaking into school, but now that we're actually inside, it's only just dawning on me how creepily darkened the school really is. I swear I heard a rumor that a couple years ago, a student committed suicide in this very school. Did she hang herself? I shiver as I simultaneously try and block that memory and remember more of it. No, that wasn't it. She just disappeared one day. No trace of her. Almost like her very being was just deleted. Gone, like that. I mentally shake myself. No, that didn't happen. These are just silly rumors that school kids like to spread to creep each other out. But a part of me can't help but imagine. What if that actually did happen? Would our ghosts still be roaming these very halls, twisted with vengeance, prowling for victims? What if... Here we are! Monica's voice snaps me out of my spectral smile. We're outside the club room. I can spot Yuri and Natsuki inside, poring over a pumpkin carving. It's a shame we're doing it in this room. Huh? Why? Well, it's Halloween, right? The classroom opposite us is the one the student hung herself. I freeze as Monica winks at me, opening the door. Hey guys! You two look great. That is a great costume. Yuri blushes. It looks like she's gone for some sort of gothic vampire outfit, which, given her taste in horror and poetry, is a really good fit. Thank you, Monica. It's quite enjoyable to express my love for horror in this way. Poems are, of course, gratifying to write, but this makes a nice change. Suri wanders over, trying to figure out what Yuri is meant to be. Are you, a vampire? Yes, a gothic one in the vein of Anne Rice's vampires. It's not too dark, is it? Haha, relax, Yuri. It's Halloween. It's pretty much a day dedicated to horror. It's fitting. I really like yous as well, Natsuki. Pretty spooky. Oh. I just realized that the music is a fucking remix of the main theme. You can hear it. You can hear it. Oh, that should be your name for today. Sari, what the heck are you? Nat Spooky. That's your new name. It's super fitting. Natsuki looks at Monica and Yuri in a desperate plea. After getting no response, she sighs desperately and starts up again. Sayuri? Yeah? That is literally the stupidest thing I've heard all day. Everyone but Sayuri breaks into laughter. Hey, that's super mean. Sorry, but it's the truth. But it's cute. Cute? Cute? I'm a skeleton. How in the world is that cute? It's actually a pretty good costume. It's Halloween. This day is supposed to be like the opposite of cute. Well, I won't lie. It's a pretty fitting name. That's spooky. She grins. Sorry. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Yuri would have come up with a better nickname. Yuri? You're putting me on the spot here, Natsuki. To her credit, at least she didn't call her Nat Spooky. Moles? Sorry, I really can't deny Sayuri her moment of glory. Fine, but only if I get to give her a dumb nickname too. Wait, Sayuri, what exactly are you? A cowgirl, right? Sayuri tips her hat down and adopts a southern cowboy drawl. It's high noon. Well, not a very good one. There's a silence for a moment. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the tumbleweed going by. Fitting for a cowboy, at least. Sayuri, it's midnight. It's high... It's high moon then. You've been watching too many spaghetti westerns, Sayuri. Spaghetti? Now I'm just hungry. This is why we chose you. You like spaghetti. Papyrus would be proud. This is part of the reason why I like Halloween. It really brings everyone together, even if the premise of the festivity is a bit dark. Ah, I figured you'd like Halloween the most, Yuri. It's pretty much a day dedicated to horror, although it's pretty great seeing a skeleton, a cowboy, a vampire, and a witch all in the same room. Not exactly every day you get to see that. I just remember all the silly things we get up to, all the pranks and scary movies. Yeah, it's pretty silly, but that's what makes it fun. Plus, I can't wait to scare you all with my ghost story. It's gonna be the best. Aw, not spooky. Please don't make it too scary. We're already past a bunch of people in terrifying outfits on the way here. There's this horrible guy with gloves made of knives. Yuri smiles softly, no surprise she recognizes the character. You won't sleep well tonight, will you, Sayuri? Sorry, Sayuri. Can't make any promises. We all share a collective laugh as Sayuri pouts. Ahem. Speaking of festivities, I brought something that I believe would contribute to the intoxicating nature of the mysticism of Halloween. It's rather decadent, but since it's a special occasion... Yuri slides a slender black wine bottle out of her bag. The glass takes an alluring shine beneath the fluorescent lights. I was able to find a nice Chianti. Eh? Yuri? Is that apple cider, Yuri? No, I think it's wine. I've done something wrong again, haven't I? I don't think alcoholic drinks are allowed on school grounds now, are they? Not to mention that we're underaged anyway. Although that's never really stopped anyone from drinking. I'm sorry. I thought that given that we're trespassing anyway, I didn't know what I was thinking, and now the atmosphere's ruined too. It's fine, Yuri. At least you didn't bring it during the regular club meeting. I'd just be careful not to let anyone catch you with it. I have to admit, though, you're the last person I would have expected to bring something like that. Pfft. Yuri may be under the influence of the witching hour or something. There's still an hour or so before the witching hour. You know what I mean. Hey, it's okay. It'll just add to the story. The story? You know, the story that we'll be telling people about later tonight. Hey, you better leave that spooky stuff out of it. Nope. Sayuri! That's spooky! Alright, cut it out, you two. I'll be honest, I'm a bit curious about how the wine tastes. Aw, come on, Monica, aren't you supposed to be the responsible one here? You're right. She casts a wistful gaze at the wine as she says that, though. Sayuri and Natsuki seem to be glancing at the bottle curiously as well, while Yuri hesitantly stows it back in her bag. Okay, everyone, let's move along to the main event, shall we? Who wants to share their poem first? Yuri. Sombre sounds of midnight malice float around a chastised chalice. Riding otherwise winds, letters torn from nails penned. A looming figure takes our hand, leading me through with sympathy canned. Cumbersome weights ride my shoulders with the serenity of falling boulders. These words are muffled by a laminate. False reassurance fails to dent the fierce facade of fleeting fear. Time is lost, no longer here. Cobalt nerves, fractured soul with the luminance of coal. Clacking footsteps from below. Echo, 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 echo. For a moment, the room is silent. Oh no, I went too far, didn't I? No, it's just the kind of thing we're looking for. Would you like to tell us what you were thinking when you wrote this? Oh, okay. Yuri takes a deep breath. It's a bit hard to describe, but sometimes there are nights where my mind just seems to be full of noise. Nights where I can hear. She trails off absent-mindedly. Does she get caught up in her own poem that much? Hey, Earthy Yuri! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get sidetracked. It's okay, Yuri. Don't feel like you have to rush. Yeah, take your time. Right. Well, as I was saying, I want to try and capture the feeling one might have a bit of a dark night. Wait, aren't all nights dark? It's a metaphor, Sayuri. I think Yuri's trying to talk about people who are going through a difficult time. That's right, Moles. The dead of night can be very fickle. It can be a peaceful time as the world around us winds down. But sometimes being alone with our thoughts can be terrifying. This poem was an attempt to reclaim some of that darkness. Well, I think you did a great job with that, Yuri. Yeah, I really liked it. You did? Thank you. Sayuri. My old friend. There is an old, dark, and hollow thing that follows close and to me clings. It sticks to me and turns and turns when I spin around and discern, in the dark and the deep, the faintest shape that it keeps. It goes away when sunlight shines, the sunshine's sweet and warm and kind. But does it really? Is it gone, or does it secretly keep on? Is it really hiding there, staring from beneath the chair, glaring from atop the stairs? Nowhere, but yet everywhere. In the corner of the gap, I stare in and it looks back. Weighing down, draining out. That was really interesting, Sayuri. I always enjoyed seeing a poet step out of their comfort zone a little bit, especially when it comes to writing horror. What do you mean? You typically don't write darker poems, correct? Unless I've misinterpreted. No, you're right, Yuri. It was a real change of pace, and it was fun. Aha, I'm glad my suggestion has gone well, then. I figured it would be fitting for the occasion. Haha, don't give her too much praise. She'll start thinking she's the next Stephen King. Hey! I'd be a great horror writer. Actually, no, wait, I wouldn't. I'm not a big fan of, actually scary stuff. Makes sense. What's this poem about, anyway? Oh, well, it's about whatever you think it's about. Are you trying to sound like Yuri? No, silly. I didn't write it with a specific thing in mind. It can be whatever you fear most. Hiding away, always there, never leaving. Even when you think it's all sunshine and rainbows, it never truly goes away. So it can be whatever you think it is. A terrible secret, a scary monster, a childhood fear of the dark. It could be made up, or it could be real. It doesn't just scare you, but whatever it is drains you as well, bit by bit. And what makes it scary is knowing you're always there. What's always there? Holy crap. Safe to say no one expected that from her. The temporary silence in the room confirms that. Mitsuki frowns, evidently nonplussed by what she just heard. Even the cool, calm, collected Monica looks a little taken back. Yuri, on the other hand, contentedly, seemingly unfazed by the somber explanation filming from story. Yeah. Wow. Okay, it's not just me that didn't see that coming, right? Laughter fills the clubroom. Yeah, I mean it, Sayuri. Your use of metaphors and use of darker thematic imagery was a very refreshing one.
I got an email? Oh, it's nothing important. Nothing important, folks. Just do me a favor and don't turn into another Yuri, okay? Natsuki. I keep noticing this. I keep catching it. Yuri, Natsuki, and then Yuri and Mani. I thought it's his mom. Kidding. Ha, that was great, Sayuri. Aw, you guys. Who wants to go next? Natsuki. The dark. Sometimes I lie awake at night, sitting in a room devoid of light, and I think about the monsters waiting in the dark. I can't even imagine what they look like. Maybe sharp claws and skin lined with spikes. Maybe a mouth that could swallow me whole. Maybe red eyes that could pierce my soul. They could eat me right now if they wanted, yet they waiting for me to close my eyes, waiting for me to dream of the light, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and now I'm thinking about the monsters, and I'm still lying awake in the dark. Yeah, I know it's not great. Actually, I quite like it, Natsuki. It's pretty obvious that horror is something out of your comfort zone, but you did an exceptional job of combining your art style with horror. Fear is a very complex emotion, so it's a challenge to putting it into simple words, and I'd say you did quite well. I would have to agree with Monica. Fear isn't something that is meant to be completely understood. The complexity behind what a person fears and why they're afraid of it is almost unfathomable. Your poem is about fear of the dark, or something explicit, or something, or more specifically, a fear of the unknown, yes? Yeah, I just don't like not knowing what's there. I feel like it's not feeling safe. My poem is all about how your imagination plays tricks on you when you're in the dark. You know, there's no such thing as monsters, but you can never be completely sure. That's what scares me, the uncertainty. I can relate, but as I was saying, it's simply a feat encapsulating something as complex as fear into 4 simple stanzas. Natsuki smiles proudly. What can I say? I'm as good at what I do. Yeah, well done, Natsuki. Sari, if you call me that one more time, I'll... Anyway, moving on. Who's next? Monica. Reverie. I wake up. Cold. Black night. Silent and still. I fall to my knees. Splinters in my hands. Dust in the air. Cold. Where am I? I reach for the light. I need it. Is it there? The switch is pressed. I feel the warmth on my face, and the hands on my arms, I wake up. It's dark all over. Cold. Silent and numb. I reach my hand out. I have no eyes to see, but I can feel it. I press the switch. The warmth fills me. The dark comes again. I die again. I wake up. Noise in my ears. Voices. Cold. I reach out and feel. Nothing. Where is it? Sorry, boys. Just got distracted by something. Everyone reaches, but nobody can touch it. The dark's come again. We all die again. I wake up. Here again? Monica bows a little after she's finished. I'm all over what she's read. I don't really get it. That sounds like something Yuri would have written. Oh? Is that a bad thing? Of course not! What does reverie mean? What does reverie mean? I don't think I've read it before. It's an English word that means something like having a pleasant daydream, but it comes from a French word that means madness. Appropriate for Halloween, isn't it? Monica's smile is looking a bit more sinister than usual, somehow. How cultured! Yuri looks a little distressed at the implication of Natsuki's sarcasm, and the idea that Monica's poem sounded like something she might have written. Do both meanings relate to the poem? You could say that. What do you mean? It reflects on how blissful an act can make the pain go away, for a little while. Alright guys, all your poems have been pretty good so far, but just wait till you hear my poem. An evil grin stretches across my face as I whip up my own poem. Hoo-hoo, if you're this confident, I'll be looking forward to
Aha! Did you put extra effort into this one, Malls? Well, not quite. What's that supposed to mean? It's not a poem that I wrote myself. Malls? But I promise you that it's very appropriate for the occasion. This is a poem that has an urban legend attached to it. Supposedly, if you read it out loud, you'll be cursed that something tragic happens to you, maybe even death. Ah! Malls, that's so scary! I know, right? It's great. The poem was titled Tamino's Halt, written by the poet Saji Yaso. And it just so happens that this poem that I'll be reading to you all at this very moment. Malls! Don't do it! What if something really bad happens to you? Pfft, yeah, right. It's called an urban legend for a reason, you know. Emphasis on legend as if it's something not real. Still, I like to see the data on all the people who've read the poem so far. And statistically speaking, it's likely that something tragic will eventually happen to you anyway. I find that there's always some element of truth behind stories, though. Of course, this truth might not reflect the literal meaning of the stories and legends. However, that's likely a message behind the legend. Yeah, I'm not gullible enough to believe any of this stuff, though. Alright, guys, alright, settle down. You can all voice your thoughts after I read it. Heh. Tamino's Halt. Elder sister vomits blood, younger sister breathing fire, while sweet little Tamino just spits up the jewels. All alone does Tamino go falling into that hell, a hell utter darkness, without even flowers. Is Tamino's big sister the one who whips him? The purpose of the scouring hangs dark in his mind, lashing and thrashing him, but never quite shattering. One shall path to Avitsi, the eternal hell, into the blackest of hells. Guide him now, I pray, to the golden sheep, to the nightingale. How much did he put to that leather pouch to prepare for his trek to the eternal hell? Spring is coming to the valley, to the wood, to the spiring chasms, to the blackest of hell. The nightingale in her cage, the sheep aboard the wagon, and tears well up in the eyes of sweet little Tamino. Sing, O nightingale! In the vast mighty forest, he screams, he only misses his little sister. His wailing desperation echoes throughout the hell. A fox puny opens in its golden petals. Down past the 7 mountains, the 7 rivers of hell, the solitary journey of sweet little Tamino. If this hell they be found, may they have come to me, please, those sharp spikes of punishment from Needle Mountain, not just as on some empty whim, and fresh pierced with blood-stained pins, they serve as hellish signposts of sweet little Tamino. Not sure if it's just me overthinking it, but I feel a strange chill running down my spine after reading that. Malls, that was seriously too scary. I don't actually get it that much. I don't actually get it all that much. Ha! It was alright. I should probably downplay it, at least for Sari's sake. I have to agree with Sari. It's a very creepy old-fashioned feel to it. After hearing that, I wouldn't doubt that something bad looms in the future. Monica! Personally, I found the poem quite beautiful. Of course, it's certainly eerie, but there's a lot of symbols and metaphors that I could pick out just from hearing that one reading. I think that I'll have to look into this poem more in my free time. You guys think that was scary? It was pretty meh in my opinion. The poet was clearly trying too hard to be edgy and smart. If I may respectfully disagree, the tone and word choice of the poem matches its content. It's not written that way simply to be edgy. After all, if I understand it correctly, Tamino was banished to hell for murdering his own parents. Eh? How'd you get that out of the poem? Well, it mentioned that Tamino is on the way to Avicii, the lowest of hells in Buddhism. Killing one's parents is one way to get you sent there. Oh, well, whatever. I still don't like it. Well, you guys can agree to disagree. But whether you like the poem or not, you'd have to agree that it and the legend attached to it are pretty interesting, right? I mean, I guess. Malls, I'm gonna have to keep a good eye on you from now on. Well, just in case the legend comes true. Sorry, that's probably the bigger chance that something bad will happen to you first, given how clumsy you are. Hey! We all share a laugh with Sari joining in after a moment of pouting. Guys, this has been so enjoyable. It's fun to share your friends with silly pranks and dressing up. It's also a lot of fun. Although, I don't really like horror that much. It's just so scary to think what could really be out there. Stop being a chicken, Sari. Hey, you're the one who got scared by Monica earlier. The girls all laugh at my expense to let her groan. She's never gonna let me live that one down. Touché. Anyway, it's ghost story time, right? I don't really know how many ghost stories, to be honest. Sorry, but I looked on the internet to find some. Most are super long, like this one about what was it? Some kind of sleep experiment? Sorry, you're rambling. Oh, oops. Sorry, I'm new to telling stories. I'm curious though, guys. What sights of sounds scare you? I'll be honest with you. Silence scares me, especially after I've read a gripping horror story. Is it just me who finds reverse music really creepy? My piano teacher showed me a few reverse pieces once. It just felt wrong to listen to, especially when there's vocals. You start hearing things that aren't there. Huh. I don't know. Come on, Natsuki, there has to be something out there that creeps you out. You'll just laugh. We won't. She's right, Natsuki, we all shared. What is it? Natsuki averts her eyes, talking to the floor. The noises that children's stories make. Toys. It's like when I'm home alone. I think of like a jack-in-the-box playing by itself. It creeps me out, you guys. Nah, I'm with you. I've always found something to do with children scary. Especially in the dark. The sound of babies crying, for example. Normally it's annoying, but if I heard it in the dark and there was no one else around, ugh. Well, it's fitting you mentioned that, Moles. Don't you remember that argument we had on Halloween back when we were like 10? No. Sorry, where's this going? We were both on our way to a Halloween party. It was pretty quiet out, so you could hear everything. I heard the sound of a baby crying, but it wasn't coming from inside anyone's house or anything. There weren't many people on the streets either, and it definitely wasn't one of them. It was coming from the down of a dark alley. A chill ran down my spine as I remember exactly what incident she's talking about. I remember I wouldn't go out. I remember I wanted to go out and investigate. I was scared. It was a toddler in danger. But you didn't let me. You were too chicken to. Hey! Okay. We were just in a rush. But anyway, pretty creepy, right? I guess I can see what you mean about babies crying and being creepy and all. It was a bit scared myself. Looking back, I'm glad you convinced me not to go. I guess being a wimp hasn't perked, huh? Yuri, Sayuri, and Natsuki laugh. Monika, however, looks like she's been slapped in the face. Guys, do you not realize how lucky you were? Eh? Oh god, you guys have no idea. What? Sorry, didn't mean it. Didn't anything seem off about that baby's cry? Sayuri scrunches up her face in a to recall. No, not really. Well, it did sound a bit repetitive, though. Like, the cries didn't change much. Monika's voice shakes as she replies. Guys, that's what serial killers do to lure out young women. I can't help but burst out laughing. What, pretend to do babies? Come on, Monika. You had me going for a second there, but you kind of ruined the punchline. She looks straight me in the eye. No, Moles. They record a clip of babies' cries and hide the speaker in a dark place. They prey on women's maternal instinct, because they know they're attached to the sounds of infants in distress. The laughter dies on my lips as a cold, sickening silence takes place. Oh my god. That's why cries don't sound natural. They just recorded a small segment and replayed it over and over. It all makes sense now. The unnatural cries in the dark alley, a meticulous, calculated effort to ensnare an unsuspecting victim. Wait, hang on. Didn't Miss Kasumi go missing around that time? Miss Kasumi used to teach Sayuri and I a long time ago. What happened to her exactly? Sayuri shrugs. You were told that she moved away suddenly to work in a different part of the country, right? People used to spread really scary, horrible rumors about what happened to her, but they didn't really make any sense. Hang on. She had a child of her own that year, didn't she? Oh god, she did. And my parents wouldn't really discuss her whenever I asked. They were super dismissive about the whole thing. I always wondered why. Oh my goodness. Wait, you guys actually believe that? Nobody looks at Natsuki, shocked. Oh, come on. There's no way you guys almost walked into a trap. Besides, that's just an urban legend. What happened to their teacher then? She just disappeared, and most parents refused to talk about it. I don't know about you, but that just seems pretty convenient for this story. Well, maybe some things are better off left unanswered, huh? Although I do hope Sarah and I are just misremembering. Well, on that cheerful note, how about we move on to the next story? I'd like to nominate Natsuki. My story? Natsuki, do you have one? Well, I never said that. I do, but it's just, I got it off the internet. I don't like horror, so it's bad. It's not my fault, okay? Natsuki clears it out. Anyway, it's about these two friends now, Aoi and Nariko. Basically, there was a rumor going around their high school about people seen going in and out of an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. Most people thought they were just drug dealers, but some swore by the fact that the house was being used as a cult of some sort. Aoi and Nariko were pretty outgoing and adventurous, so they decided one night to check the place out. They get to the house and it's pitch black out. Luckily, Aoi brought flashlights for the two of them. Nariko, on the other hand, brought a knife with her just in case they ran into trouble. They go inside and the place reeks. We're talking Mole's room level of stink. Hey! Everyone burst out laughing. Was that really necessary? Sorry, I had to. Anyway, they look around for a bit. They find the door to the basement and the stairs to the second floor, things like that. Finally, they go into the kitchen and find the source of the smell. There's some weed on the table, and it looks recently used. That confirms Aoi's suspicion that it's just a drug dealer, and she wants to leave. Nariko, on the other hand, still wants to snoop around a bit. They get into an argument with each other, with Nariko calling Aoi a coward because she thinks Aoi wants to leave since she's afraid of all the rumors. Then Nariko goes, yeah, well, if you're not afraid, then go into the basement. Aoi gladly accepts and walks over to the basement door. As soon as she opens it, she feels a sharp pain in her back. Before she reacts, she gets pushed down the stairs. She tumbles down the stairs, and when she hits the bottom, she realizes she can't feel her legs. Her vision is blurred, and she can barely make out the figure standing at the top of the stairs with a knife. The last thing Aoi hears as she passes out is Nariko's footsteps as she descends down the stairs, and the old grizzled voice say, "This one will do nicely." The very next day, Nariko and Aoi is tall and sick. It's kind of a shame, really, because they miss out on all the talk about They missed out on all the talk about how someone heard strange animal-like growls coming from the old abandoned house on the outskirts of town. So yeah, hope you liked it or whatever. What happened to Naruko and Aoi in the end? They didn't die, did they? Heh, use your imagination. Nice story, Natsuki. Cults usually provide a good fodder for horror stories. Indeed, I've read quite a few novels involving cults. Doesn't the Portrait of Markov involve something like that? Something similar, yes. Speaking of Yuri and horror stories, how about you go next, Yuri? Me? All right then. Give it your best shot. Gotta take a drink, boys. You're walking alone one pale autumn night. The autumn is graceful, casting her light down below like snowdrops. As you continue down your path, something shambles behind you. You turn around to look at what it might be, but all you see is a cluster of leaves, rustled by the pale air. Slowly returning, you notice the lights in every house around you going out, then flickering before fully extinguishing. With tentative steps, you advance forward, towards one of them, to investigate. Just as you're about to reach the window, you hear something snapping behind you. A broken twig is all that remains. Uncertainly floating around inside your head, you unconsciously start walking faster away from the suburbs. Eventually, you find solace in silence, the only sound being your heartbeat. In quiet, nothing seems to be happening right now. In fact, nothing at all seems to be happening. Confused, you look around to see you're in front of the house in the street. No one stirring. Nor are they in any lights. I'm sorry, boys. Just give me 1 second. Got lightheaded for a sec. I'm gonna drink lots of water, folks. Gently pacing towards your house, you go through the door. The lights are on, the television is on, but no one is in sight. That's unusual. You were expecting your parents to be home. They had gone out without telling you, right? No, that couldn't be it. They always let you know where they'll be. You pull out your phone and open your contacts to give them a call. However, no one is registered in there anymore. No matter how hard you try to remember, you can't call out to them. Suddenly, there's a heavy knock on the door. You peer through the keyhole, but see no one. Another. You cautiously open the door, but there's still no one there. No one anywhere. How did this happen? Why are you alone in the piercing silence? Silence so loud it fills the air. You do not know, and there isn't any way for you to find out. That's it? That's your dumb story? Nothing ever happened. Where were the scary monsters and stuff? There's no greater fear than the unknown, Natsuki. Sharp claws can be prepared for. Enigmatic silence cannot. What's more fearful? Something you know is coming for you, or feeling safe when you're not? Quite a somber note to end on your story, huh, Yuri? We can always count on you for a good horror tale. Anyway, I'll go next. Although, a scary story, now that I think about it, I don't think I've come up with a ghost story before. I haven't read too many horror stories either. Well, I guess this is a surprise. Just make one up then. It'll be fun. Well, I can't say I've tried before. Are you trying to get out of telling a story? Of course not. Now that I think about it, there's one I've heard of. Monika's expression turns serious. The mood in the room turns serious. She uses the same intensity she did when she read her poems. Everyone quiets down. A number of years ago, Tanabata had come along, as it does every year. It's the story of a lost little girl. Where am I? She cried. She cried and cried, hoping desperately she could find someone to help her. But the little girl was alone. No one could hear her. But just as all hope seemed lost, she heard a voice. Isn't the night wonderful? The girl looked up. Where, before, there was nobody, was now a man in an elegant yukata. He wore what looked like a Noah mask, but it was completely blank. Behind the man stood a tall stall, masks and lanterns of all sorts hanging about. How rude of me, the man admonished himself. Welcome, dear customer. Your heart seems unhappy. Why not take a look at my wares? The man said as he gestured to the mask behind him. Please take one that will bring a smile to your face. The girl looked at the masks. There were ones that looked frightening, ones that looked strange, ones that looked exotic, and many others. What about your mask, mister? The girl asked. I'm sorry, but this mask is very special. It's not for sale. The girl looked sad. I like that mask. It looks really cool. The man laughed softly. It's been called many things, but this is perhaps the first time it's been called cool. Would you like a fruit? The man asked, picking one out of the tree behind him. They're sweet and delicious. The girl reached to take it, but the man pulled his hand back. Ah, they're not for children. The girl was confused. But just tonight, it should be fine, he said as he offered his hand once again. In the festival of the night, children become adults, and adults become children. Is that true? Asked the girl, and the man assured her it was. The girl took the fruit and bit into it. It was unlike anything she had tasted before. It was almost overwhelming, but the flavor was wonderful. It's good, the girl said happily. The man laughed again. I'm glad you think so. There's plenty, so please eat all you like. As she ate, the man let down a mask. What about this one? The girl took the mask. It looks like me, but she looks like a princess, the girl said in awe. Do you like it? Please take it. What about money? Asked the girl. I don't need money. Instead, I would like to be friends. Is that okay? Of course, the girl agreed. From now on, we're friends. I'm glad, the man said with gratitude. Why not put on your mask? The girl did so. She was overcome with a strange feeling. Why is it? She asked. Ah, at last, long have I dreamt of this moment. My dear, my Eve, my only friend. The man smiled beneath his mask as he spoke as the light of the stars began to fade. For it is the festival of the night where children become adults and adults become children. Let it be known. Rather, another unconventional horror story, I see. Aha, yep. I guess monstrous horror stories are more popular than you think. I rather like the mysterious tone myself. It's really reminiscent of the style of Asian horror stories. You guys have a weird sense of what's scary. I mean, this story isn't necessarily meant to scare you to death. Spirits don't have to just be frightening, you know? Well, it is Halloween. Aren't things supposed to be scary today? But Halloween is fun, too. It's not just scary. Alright, guys, break it up. Let's just say to agree to disagree. Maka smiles grateful at me, while Natsuki shoots me a disgruntled look. Anyway, guess it's my turn to tell a story. Wait, didn't you already tell one? So this is something that actually happened to a friend of mine. Oh, really? Yes, really. So it happened to Sayuri then. Huh? This story's about me? Is that true, Moles? What? No, it's not. Let's just get on with the story, shall we? Right, anyway. So this friend of mine lived alone in an apartment building. He lived in this downtown area and loved to party all night. And one night he was out as usual. However, when he stumbled back home in the early hours of the morning, he realized that he'd lost his key and was locked out of his apartment. So he ended up having to call his landlord, who was pissed at having to wake up in the middle of the night to let him back in. But in the end, he was able to get home safely, so that's all that matters, right? I could certainly relate to that comforting feeling. Right, but when he got inside, he noticed that his keys were actually on his nightstand, so he didn't lose them after all. They weren't an extra cent that his landlord gave him? Nope, he was able to recognize them with the keychain he attached to it. So, that's it? Pretty much, yeah. What's so scary about that? Haven't you realized it yet? What do you mean? The apartment was locked when he got back, right? Yeah, I got that part, but his keys were still in the apartment. So how was he supposed to lock them? Huh? Some must have gotten into his apartment and placed them inside, then locked the door themselves from the inside. And the only set of keys were my friend's, the landlord's. So, whoever it was who brought his keys back was still in the apartment when he got home. So who was it then? He never found out. Huh? You're gonna make me permanently paranoid. That was quite an enjoyable story, Moles. Although it was short, the realization at the end definitely made up for that. Plus, the story calls on the real fears of things like squatters, stalkers, and killers. Who knows? Maybe one of us has a squatter living in our home, hidden away, never to be found. Stop right there! I don't want to even think about it. Okay, that story wasn't half bad. Heh, glad you all liked it. I have to admit, this has been pretty fun, guys. Yeah, it really has. We should do this sort of thing more often. Sorry, Halloween only comes around once a year. Oh yeah. If I may make a suggestion, we all turn to look at her. Well, it's a fitting mood, would you like to try the Kokukuri-san game? Kokukaki-muri. Huh? What's that? Oh, that's the Ouija board thing. Huh, isn't that some urban legend? Only if you believe it is, Natsuki. Ouija board stuff, huh? On one hand, although it's not very hard to scare me, I'm a bit skeptical about ghosts. Although I've heard from a lot of people that messing around with the dark arts is dangerous business. I mean, we're in a dark school late at night with no one else around. If we really did open a portal for a malevolent spirit to enter our world, who knows what could happen? Nah, that's a bit far-fetched. At least if the spooky ghost kills me, I won't have to do the math homework that I've been procrastinating for a week. Seems a lot more tempting now. Can you tell us more, Yuri? Of course. Kokukuri-san is the name of the spirit we'll summon. The name comprises 3 animals, a fox, Kok, a dog, Ku, and a raccoon, Ri. Each animal represents something different. For example, the dog is loyal and protecting, while the fox is a trickster or a teacher. You can ask Kokukuri-san different things. You can ask who loves you, whether you'll become rich, etc., etc. Hang on! You can ask anything? A devilish smile crosses her face. Why don't we ask Kokukuri-san when we're going to die? Yuri looks aghast, nervously fiddling with a strand of hair. Natsuki, these are questions you shouldn't ask, and that's one of them. Ah, come on, Yuri. This is the perfect time for it. I don't think you realize what you're getting into. There are many stories of people messing around with spirits, all ending with awful consequences. Ah, come on, Yuri. Besides, it's part dog. If it starts trying to possess anyone, we can just throw a stick for it. Haha. Well, it's also a Shinto spirit, not a demon or a ghost. Natsuki is the one wearing a bone outfit, and we all know dogs love bones, so it's just her who has to worry. Natsuki would have made a wonderful Medusa with the death glare she gave with that. Well, seeing as we're already broken in and have some illegal contraband on hand, she gives a wink at Yuri, who ducks her head down, blushing. Adding an animalistic wraith to it into the mix. Oh well, might as well. Yay, that's the spirit! Okay then, let's begin the preparations. With the ritual set up and the candles dim, ready to go, we also had to open a window, which according to Yuri allows the spirit to enter and exit. The ambient noises from outside permeate the room, adding to the atmosphere within. So what happens now? Place a coin on the red gate. The door is where the spirit enters. Now everyone place your index finger on the coin. After a bit of crowding, we managed to squeeze the tip of everyone's finger onto the coin. Be careful not to let go of the coin. What happens if we do? Please don't. Fine. Let's get on with this already. Alright. Yuri visibly composes herself and continues. Kukukuri. If you're here, please move this coin. At first nothing happens. Just as Natsuki thought, a silly urban legend. No way. There's no way the coin just moved. My eyes have been playing tricks on me. The coin initially on the red torii slowly slides across to yes. Oh. Do you guys see that? Even Natsuki is in a state of disbelief. Alright, who did that? Real jokester you are, really funny. The crickets outside can be heard clearly in the silence that follows. No one steps up to claim responsibility for the coin's movement. How? Wow. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Whoever it was, just tell us already. More crickets. Fine, I'm not bringing cupcakes anymore until someone admits to it. But it's spooky. Stop calling me that. I bet it was Yuri. She's the one who suggested this. Me? I would never. I guess Yuri is a scaredy cat. It wasn't me either. Yeah, Sarah's a scaredy cat too. That leaves Malls and Monica. Natsuki, have you considered that maybe, just maybe, it really is Kukukuri moving the coin? Yeah, right. There's no such thing as ghosts. Kukukuri-san is a spirit, not a ghost. Same difference. Well, all I have to say is that I didn't do it. Natsuki's skeptical glare causes me to hurry on, but I know that there's got to be some sort of scientific explanation for this. I can't seriously be witnessing the paranormal, can I? Okay, Einstein, what's your scientific explanation for this, then? I'm working on it. It has to be one of us doing it. I know. Why don't we ask Kukuri-san something that Moles and I couldn't have known? Given that you seem to suspect us the most. Okay then, Sari, ask it something. But what should I ask? I don't know. Anything that Moles and Monica couldn't have known. Oh, I know. Kukuri-san, can you please tell me what I have on the top shelf of my refrigerator? What kind of question is that supposed to be? Sorry, I guess I'm kind of hungry. The banter peters out as we expectantly watch the coin. Suddenly, the coin jerks to the right. Suki squints as scrutinizes each of our faces. Meanwhile, the rest of the girls' eyes seem to be glued to the coin, Yuri's face blanching at each further movement. Everyone seems to wait with bated breath as the coin slowly inches to the letter R. A. Suri's eyes widen, while Yuri's ever so slightly backs away from the paper. The coin carries on moving. Ramen? Ramen? They're leftovers. Sari, you really gotta eat more healthily. But it's so tasty! Should we really be using Kukuri-san to answer such frivolous questions? That wasn't frivolous at all. We were proving whether or not it was one of us moving the thing. And now we all have our answer. None of us moved it. Wait, so is that supposed to mean it's Kukuri-san who moved it? Monica seems awfully cheerful at the revelation. Man, Monica, does anything faze you? I've just been in much scarier scenarios than this. Plus, I've got to stay confident as the president, you know? I see. What? So Kukuri-san is real then? I tried to get you all to take this seriously. I mean, you really can't blame us for thinking this was all fake. I do still think there's a trick to this. Natsuki, whatever it is, whatever. If you want us to take this seriously, then I'll take this to serious places too. Natsuki? Kukuri-san, what is the date of my death? Yuri throws at me a frightened glance as we all look to the coin and moving in. Her fingers feel cold as ice against mine. Slowly the coin moves to the letter N and inches forward to the numbers. N31-10-2018. That's today. I don't like this anymore, guys. Some questions are better left not being asked. That can't be true, right? Kukuri-san, what about the other girls in this room? The coin doesn't move. I want to go to the bathroom. Don't you want to know the day of your oath? Yeah, like some piece of paper and coin is going to tell me that. You looked pretty scared earlier. Shut up. As I move away, Yuri gulps. Moles, we have to properly finish the game. You can't leave a procedure. There's no point. He already broken the finger on coin rule. What do we do? Sorry, Yuri, I'll come back to help you guys finish in a bit. You better hurry up, Moles. Phew. I finally out of the classroom. I can't believe that game actually scared me, although I'm curious to know who has it rigged. It has to be rigged, right? The bathroom is pitch black when I open the door, save for the faint moonlight glinting off the bathroom window. I contrast between the darkness. The shining glass dazzles me for a moment until I notice it. The dark figure within the glass standing completely still. Hey, I got a follower. How's it going, man? Welcome. That was pretty wild. That was like 10 minutes ago. Welcome to the stream. If you're still here, I tend to pay attention to the game for long periods of time, just because it's so dialogue heavy. All the urban legends that I've heard of involving mirrors begin to rush through my head. Some instinct inside me stops me from moving, as if doing so would stop me from being noticed. I don't even dare take a breath. As my eyes start to water from the lack of oxygen, the figure in the mirror seems to start wavering as well. Crap, I can't take it anymore. As I bend over to take a wheezing breath, the figure ducks below as well. Huh? Is that my reflection? Scanning my surroundings to quickly jump to the light switch and flick it on as fast as possible. The fluorescent lights overhead flicker to life, confirming my suspicion. I glare at my reflection and snort. Luckily, I'm really fumbling my lines today. Lucky that no one else was here to see that. I slammed the stall door shut on compulsion, as a sign of bravado to myself, I guess. Staring at the shockingly loud noises at the door reverberate around the bathroom, I can't help but remain quiet somehow. The frigid tap water is the thing reminds me of Fury's icy hand during the game. I should probably hurry back. That was perhaps the most nerve-wracking trip to the bathroom I've ever taken. I shake my head. Snap out of it, Moles. All those stories aren't real. Ghosts aren't real. It was awfully quiet in the clubroom. Wonder what witchcraft the girls are up to. Stepping into the classroom, a pang of fear and adrenaline shoots through my heart. At first glance, the girls seem to have disappeared, but I quickly realize they haven't disappeared. They're all collapsed on the floor and desks. Oh, very convincing, guys. Yo, what's going on, man? Yeah, I totally believe that you're all actually dead. Very funny. Slight rustling gets my attention. Something in my peripheral vision moves on the kukuri sandpaper. Curious I amble over. You should never have come. What? Why is the coin spelling this out? Wait, more importantly, how is the coin moving by itself? My mind flashes back to what Yuri said before. We hadn't properly finished the game. There was a certain procedure that we were supposed to follow. But what happens if you don't do all that? Hold on, it's not like ghosts are real, right? They must be playing a prank on me right now, right? I reach down to shake Monica's shoulder. She's lying prone on the floor, and I can't help but feel the dread that her body will be cold. As I start to reach down, I freeze. Are those footsteps outside? No one else is supposed to be in the school, right? In a panicked state, I scan the bodies on the floor. All the girls are here, so the footsteps go louder and louder. They don't sound normal, almost like shuffling or dragging along. Is this real? I'm starting to hear things now. The blood gushing through my ears is drowning out the sound of the footsteps. What are they? I can't tell. Are they close by? Should I hide? How much time until I reach the clubroom? I can't tell. Crap. I throw myself to the floor, squeezing my eyes shut. The sound of my heart hammering in my chest is almost deafening. Pretty spooky. Over the drum of my heart, I hear it. The footsteps stopping right outside the clubroom. Please, don't open the door. As the door rattles open, there's an awful, sickening silence. It tells someone or something breathes. Some kind of raspy gurgling. A low, deep vocalization. Something that sounds off, as if someone had wrapped the sound in a computer program. Actually, this is getting a little creepy. Something completely and utterly unnatural that rises the hair on the back of my neck. Pull. I feel completely and absolutely paralyzed. My muscles are tensed, my jaw aching from my clenching it shut in nervousness. But if I relaxed, the adrenaline running through my body would immediately give away with my trembling. As the sweat trickles down the side of my head, I swear it dawning near. Pull. A warm moistness settles on my neck, as if someone were breathing over me. I dare not even breathe. The idea of breathing in the fetid smell of its breath nearly triggers a gag reflex. Am I just imagining this? I can't be, can I? I can't think of any way that could all just be a simple prank. There's no way any of the girls could have manufactured this being. This feels wrong, to its very core. The temptation to satisfy my curiosity and it looks at whatever hovering over me is almost overpowering. But an instinct deep within demands that I keep my eyes shut. I can't help but feel dread that something horrific will happen if I look up. All I can think to do is pray that this thing goes away. Please go away. Please. Maybe this mantra can help me drown out the sheer fear I'm feeling. While soundlessly chanting my mantra over and over in my head, I realize that the room has gone silent, suspiciously quiet. It's too soon to move, isn't it? I'll give it 5 minutes until I peek out at the room. Seconds turn into years, turn into decades. I can't tell how much time has passed, and given my panicked state of mind, I don't trust myself to judge time well. It feels like an hour has passed, but it's probably more like a minute or two. Or has it been 5 minutes? Should I open my eyes? Should I? Hold on. Should I be getting help for the others too? But if something happens to me, then I can't help them. What do I do? How much longer should I hold out for? I can't believe this is actually happening. I've gone insane, haven't I? Do I dare open my eyes? I strain to hear something, anything, but it's completely silent. Do I dare? Do I? Maybe I should, if only to end this torment. Screw it. Okay, I was expecting a jump scare. I honestly still expect one. I cautiously open my eyes, the smallest bit, peeking out from behind a curtain of lashes. Nothing's there, just an empty classroom. A wave of relief cascades through my body, and as quietly as I dare, I let out my breath I've been holding in. I lay there for a bit, breathing heavily. Slowly I get up and walk over to Monica and desperately shake her. In my hysterically state, I can't help but think that she's probably dead. Monica, please wake up. Your face. Monica! My what? Aha! You should have seen your face. She sits up, her emerald eyes tearing up from her mirth. What? Did you think you were actually dead? Her laughter fills the room as the other girls also sit up. I'm sorry for scaring you twice in one night, Malls. But as you said, it is Halloween. This whole thing was just some prank? The board, the footsteps, Of course! Yuri told me about Kukuri saying a week before Halloween, so I was able to rig the answers. It wasn't a ghost or anything like that, dummy. Siri would have said that Kukuri was right no matter what answer Monica gave it to. And the footsteps? There's some little speakers that I hid outside the classroom. Siri had the idea to pre-record some footsteps and send them to me, so she could make it sound like they were someone coming by. I sigh as all the tension leaves my body. At least there was a rational explanation for all this. As the other girls laugh, I can't help but join in. Yeah, they got me fair and square. Haha, okay guys, I'll admit. Well played, you got me good. I'm curious though. How'd you get another person to agree to this? Huh? What do you mean? Come on guys, the game's up. I know, it's just a prank. No, seriously, what do you mean? Are you really going to keep up the joke? You know, the guy who came inside while I was on the floor. He was all gurgly and raspy, and kept making these noises. That was like he was saying, well, it'll sound dumb when I try to mimic it, but it's like, Po. Malls, what are you talking about? We didn't ask anyone to help out. After all, we couldn't take the risk of having someone report that we trespass. Indeed, Monica's ruse was simply to rig the Kukuri stand troll and use the speakers. Who are you talking about? As far as we're concerned, we're the only ones in the building. What? You guys are completely serious right now. The girls all nod at me. The only thing I did were deliberately moving the coin around while I was touching it and rigging the speakers. Nothing else? That's right. Sorry, you swear you're telling the truth? I am! Sure would never lie to me like that, so that means... Wait, so you guys didn't hear it? They all change a look of bewilderment. Am I actually losing my mind? Like Yuri said, I'm pretty sure it was just us in the building. It's honestly telling you didn't hear anything. The girls share a look of alarm. Malls, relax. There was nothing here. It's okay. Yeah, even if there was some spooky ghost, I would have kicked its butt. The tinge of humor alongside Yuri's reassurance helps me calm down a little. I'm not exactly convinced, but if the others didn't see or hear anything, and they were in the same room, they must have just imagined it, right? Okay, everyone. It's getting late. Let's clean up and call it a night. I used to think that I'd grown out of Halloween, but today made me realize that anyone can enjoy it. Horror can be fun. Maybe I'll talk to Yuri more about this stuff. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. I was just thinking about the Ouija board. That thing really got to you, huh? I was a little scared too, even though I knew Monica was behind it all. Anyway, I'll see you at school tomorrow. Good night! See you, Sari. As I turn and walk home, I can't help but laugh. Yeah, those girls got me good. I never saw that coming. And the bit where the coin was moving by itself was really good too. Wait, Monica only said she rigged the actual ritual. Not that she moved the coin around afterwards. Not to mention, there's no way she could have moved it when she was on the floor. The coin, the entity. So does that mean... I take it back. I hate Halloween. Fuck this holiday. Alright. It's a transition. I'm gonna take this opportunity for a pee break, boys. I'll be right back. I am back, folks. How is everybody doing? Good, good, good. Looks like we're in winter now. Brr! It's gotten so cold! October was so warm. Why couldn't it stay that way? We are in November now, you know. But last year's November was so mild. One sec, boys. Other places get really cool winter things like penguins, reindeer, even Frosty the Snowman. Sorry, you know that Frosty the Snowman isn't real, right? Of course, silly. But what if you could make an actual snowman and name him Frosty? Pretty sure that doesn't count. She waves my comment away, an indignant huff of air visible from her mouth. I just want it to snow. Seeing the gentle snowfall at night when you're tucked up and cozy inside with some hot chocolate, it's so peaceful. All the untouched snow, and when it's quiet, you could probably spend Christmas with Yuri this year. You should probably spend Christmas with Yuri this year, you know? Sounds like you two share the same thoughts. Oh, well, it's obviously really fun to have snowball fights, build snowmen, make star angels, and missing a day or two of school. Guess since joining the literature club, I've started to appreciate nature a bit more. Although I still love summer. That much hasn't changed then. No. What? She's fiddling in her pockets, desperately looking for something. I left my gloves at home. My hands get cold so easily. Having cold fingers is the worst. Well, or having wet socks on. Blow on them, Sari. Huh? Blow on my hands? Yes, it'll warm them up, trust me. She takes my advice, but judging by the look on her face, it's a futile effort. Helps a little bit, but they're still so cold. I just wish I had something proper to warm them up for me. She stands there pouting, an idea forms in my mind, one that'll benefit both of us. Give me your hands. Do my best to ignore my beating heart. I take her hands in mine and start rubbing on them. Huh? What are you doing? I roll my eyes, hoping she attributes my sudden stuttering to the cold and not the sudden nervousness this new situation brings. What does it look like I'm doing? Slow process, but slowly I can feel her hands warming up. Given how hot my whole body feels, it's no surprise. I'm half expecting there to be a steam radiating off my fingers at this point. The silence in the air feels heavy, almost as if it were laced with some kind of tension. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it, but the unfamiliarity of sudden intimacy makes me feel a little uncomfortable. They should be much warmer now. I move to pull my hands away, but Sari's grip doesn't loosen like I expect it to. Would you mind holding on just a little bit longer? It's really sweet what you've done for me. I get cold super easy, though. Sure. Although we'd have to get a move on, otherwise we'd be late. That's okay. And so we make our way to school, just like any other day when we walk together, except for one major difference, we're holding hands. I mean, friends can hold hands, right? Right? Whew. It's not necessarily romantic or anything, but it feels good, just like it belongs. Sherry's fingers are absent-mindedly stroking the back of my hand, and I have to fight the urge to return the favor. Ah, to hell with it. Her hands feel so warm and soft against mine, there's no way I'm leaving this opportunity pass up. She laughs softly as my fingers trace a gentle circle around the back of her hand. She breaks the silence, but only slightly, as her voice is barely audible, over the howling wind and my own hammering chest. You're pretty quiet, Malls. Sorry. It's okay. You don't have to say sorry. This has been really nice, hasn't it? It has. My mind is screaming at me to say more, to say something romantic and cheesy. I feel so content and warm, and most importantly safe, with the girl I grew up with, the girl I shared so many happy memories with, the girl who provides a bundle of sunshine in my life. Your hands feel really nice. Yours feel really... Don't mess this up, Malls. Ditto. I wouldn't mind warming up your hands again. Oh, that's terrible, dude. Oh my god. You know, if you ever get cold. That was the lamest response I could have given. Sarah thinks otherwise, though, as she bursts into laughter. I feel my cheeks flap again, this time from embarrassment. Hey! Sorry, Moles. You're just so adorable. Yeah, well, so are you. The line is out of my mouth before my brain has a chance to process it. This time it's Sayori's turn to grow flustered. An endearing crimson flush appears in her cheeks as she looks away, embarrassed. Eh? You can be really cute sometimes, you know that? This is deep into uncharted territory. I've really passed some kind of line, the line where you adhere to when you're just friends with someone. Although, do I really care? She flails, further demonstrating my point. Wait, are those... Sayori? What's that in your pocket? Are those gloves? She freezes, looking like a deer caught in the headlights. Huh? No, of course not. Oh, look at the time, we're going to be late. See you at lunchtime. She zooms off with the velocity of a bullet. I'm left standing there in awe. That girl is so damn sneaky. Then again, it's not like I didn't benefit from her little plan, isn't it? She'll be the death of me. With high spirits, I follow up to Sayori, rapidly disappearing profile. That was really cute. I like that. And that was the state of the war by the summer of 1917. As he outlines the activity we'll be doing next, my ears prick up as he mentions we'll be doing it in pairs. By the way, turn to page 394. That chapter should be the most relevant for this task. Now, if you don't mind me, I'll be marking all of the homework I should have gotten back up to you last week. As per usual, his light self-deprecating style earns a smattering of laughter from the class. Emmy and I have been working diligently, making steady progress. It's about break time, I reckon. I've been meaning to ask, how's the track stuff coming along? This season has been great, although there aren't as many sessions going on this month. I mean, there's still some, but people always chicken out when it gets cold. No dedication. I hate seeing people give up on stuff. You and your running, eh? I gotta give you credit for that, though. I wish I had the drive to exercise. Oh, I don't think it's a lack of drive that stops you from exercising, Malls. There's a mischievous look in her eye. You're distracted. I catch Sakurai looking at us. Hastily, I turn back to the textbook and scribble something in a lazy effort to look like I'm doing work. With his back turned, my full attention goes back to Enemy. Distracted? By what? By who is what you should be asking. His very knowing smile is making me feel a little uncomfortable. Come on, Emmy, enough with the riddles. Sayori, Malls. I see you two having lunch together all the time. Don't you walk her home as well? I didn't know they teach people how to stalk at the track club, Emmy. Ha, so you do walk her home. So you do stalk me. So, do you like her? Hey, I promise I won't tell anyone. And come on, the amount of times I let you copy my homework, I grumble under my breath. I had a feeling you'd use that to get a favor out of me. Use it against you? Malls? Of course not. It's just my way of reminding you that you can trust me. Well, actually no. I guess I'm being a little pushy, aren't I? Oh, sorry. I guess I'm being a little pushy, aren't I? Sorry, I shouldn't have. It's all good. It's not that I don't want to tell you, it's just, I don't know. It's really confusing. I guess to put simply, yeah, I do like her. Aha, I knew it. That's so cute, though. How long have you liked her? I nervously scratched the back of my neck. Well, we've always been childhood friends, but over the last few years we drifted apart. I joined her literature club last month, and well, since then I've just really enjoyed being around her. I guess I never realized what my feelings were. We've been spending more and more time together recently. I sigh. You're noticing all these little quirks about her, aren't you? Yeah, things like how blue her eyes are, how warm and soft her fans are, and how cute she looks when she's concentrating. She's always been really good at making me feel at ease. Whenever she's around, I just feel really, I don't know, just happy. Oh god, all of this mushy stuff must sound super embarrassing. Sorry, I know this must sound really cringy. It doesn't! It's fine, I know the feeling myself. Oh, that guy you started dating a couple months ago? The new guy, right? That's the one. So, what's it like for you? What things do you guys do? What little things did you start to notice about him? I guess I realized how much he really thinks with his heart. He's a little dense, but I came to really appreciate how patient he can be. But that's enough about me. Sounds like exactly the same thing is going on here. When are you going to tell Sayori? Well, that's the thing. Malls, Emmy. Everything going well? Oops, looks like I was getting so into the conversation with Emmy that I totally forgot we were in our classroom. Thankfully, we made enough progress for Sakurai not to chide us. He checks our notes. Doing well so far, although I'd add a little more detail about how the United States entered and how that clashed against their policy of isolationism. After all, it was the turning point of the war, from both a military and foreign policy perspective. Noted, sir! As he meanders off, Emmy wastes no time in jumping back to the conversation. You are going to tell her, right? I don't know. Part of me wants to, but I'm super nervous. But she doesn't feel the same way. She dismisses my concerns with a frown and shakes off the head. Look, I can tell that she likes you. How can you possibly... Female intuition. First motherly intuition, now female intuition. No fair. Women get all of the psychic powers. Trust me, she spent so much time with you, and my gut feeling has never been wrong before. She winks at me. Strangely enough, it fills me with a little bit of confidence. Okay then, I swallow. I guess I'll tell her. I just don't know how to do it. Look, it's easy. All I have to do is be honest with her. Tell her what you told me. Tell you really like spending time with her, and that you want her to be your girlfriend. It's easy. Yeah, it's fucking easy. She leans back triumphantly. Pff, easy for you to say. Oh? I never confess over next text or online. Has to be done in person. Well, it's Thursday today, so... You gotta tell her tomorrow. Trust me, you don't want to be the anticipation hanging over you during the weekend. But that's so soon. Think of it this way. The sooner you tell her, the sooner you can start dating. I won't lie. It's a pretty appealing prospect. Tomorrow it is. And let me know how it goes. Managed to find your gloves this time, eh? She flails around nervously. Yeah, I guess I didn't know they were in my pockets the whole time before. As she pulls them on, I'm hit by a pang of disappointment. I was hoping I get to keep her warm and hold her hands again. Hang on, Sari. My scarf has come loose. You're so silly, Moles. Didn't your mom teach you how to properly tie a scarf? Yeah, I just never got around to actually putting it into practice. Let me help you. She stands in front of me, completely undoing the scarf and placing it around my neck. Oh, God. I hate the zoom in distance. It's off-putting. It's creepy because of the context of the original game. At this distance, not only can I see her breath forming a misty cloud in front of me, but I can even feel it on my face. As she works, she brushes against my neck and collar. I have to force myself not to burrow into her touch. That's a little strange. There! The final loop, the scarf now sits snugly, providing the warmth it should. Even after she's finished, her hands linger on my neck. Despite the fabric of her gloves, I can feel they're still cold. Thank you, Sari. Much better. You're welcome! Sakurai told us that during the war, a bunch of miners and bombs were set off. An explosion so loud it was heard in London all the way to France, over 140 miles away. That must have been one big explosion. Do you think the miners did the whole cool guys don't look at explosions thing? Maybe that's where movie directors got the idea from. I'll ask Sakurai tomorrow. Knowing him, I'll probably just get a sarcastic answer, though. I'd tell you an interesting math fact, but math isn't interesting. Oh yeah, I'm definitely with you there. Seriously, I can't write a poem with numbers or a story. I don't think I'll ever see my parents using a quadratic formula or worked out the area of a triangle in real life. And my teacher tells me that math is a lifelong skill. Really? I find it pretty useful, you know. It's counting up the amount of times you complain about something. Hey! You said you'd agree with me. Kidding. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow, Sari. Have a good one. Bye! Oh no, she's gonna be depressed tomorrow when you try and do it. That's gonna be terrible. I can tell that's where things are going right now. Man, that was a long day. I feel like I learned more about Emi than I did Sakurai. I guess tomorrow was the day I finally asked Sayori, huh? Being totally honest, I'm kind of terrified. But then again, how much longer do I want this anticipation of Lumomori? Besides, Emi is confident Sayori likes me, so it should go smoothly, right? Emphasis on should. After all, she does spend a lot of time with me. And the trick with her gloves this morning, I just hope I've not misread all the signs, or else tomorrow is going to be super awkward. Oh, a dream. What's up, Moles? You're looking really glum. It's nothing, Sayori. Hey! I know something's bothering you. You can talk to me, it'll be okay. I didn't do well in the end-of-year exams. People found out and they kept laughing at me. Plus my parents are going to be so mad. I'm an idiot. Hey! You aren't an idiot, Moles. You're not stupid at all. But I messed up so badly. You're still really smart to me, though. You helped me with my homework so many times. And look, you tried your best. Right? 1 second, boys. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I was gonna go talk to somebody. I'll be right back. Sorry for the long break in the stream, boys. Had to talk to the landlord about stuffs. Important stuffs. That's okay. I have to cut that out of the VOD. I'd feel bad putting that up. Yeah. That's fine then. That's all that counts. Teachers can't expect more, can they? Yeah, I suppose you're right. And those meanies, they're just jealous. Jealous, huh? Of what? Well, you're really good at the Floor is Lava game, and I was just gonna say we play that now. That'll cheer you up, I know it. I don't know. Come on! You can be Spider-Man again. Okay, let's start there. Yay! The next hour passes by in a blur. Within moments, we are already hopping around the room, zipping by from chair to chair, room to room. Ah, watch out! The lava monster is there. Haha, I'm never going to see Mom's houseplant the same way again. Come on, Sayuri, you've got this. There's a fairly big gap between the two couches, and Sayuri peers over the edge, trying to see if she can make it. Even if you fall, I've got you. Okay! She jumps, soaring through the air, and lands right next to me, a triumphant grin on her face. Hey, way to go! She grins and offers her hand for a high five. Having fun? Oh, hi, Mom. You two look like you're having the time of your lives. Good to see you again, Sayuri. And you! You're just playing the Floor is Lava game. Quite an active imagination the pair of you have, huh? Mom smiles endearingly. Joys of childhood, eh? Would either of you like some snacks? I think we have some tempura. Sayuri's face brightens immediately. Ooh, that would be really nice, thank you. Is that okay? Of course, dear. How about you, son? Yeah, tempura works for me as well, Mom. Thanks. Oh, by the way, watch out for the tall houseplant in the other room. I heard it's secretly a scary lava dragon in disguise. She winks as she leaves. I'm still saying it. I'm still calling it. She is gonna be depressed as fuck. It's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin it. Man, it's days like these that I really wish my dad was around. I'm sure he experienced all the nervousness associated with asking a girl out. Relax, Miles, relax. You're just asking your childhood friend to be your girlfriend. No big deal, right? Who am I kidding? Of course it's a big deal. What did all those websites online say? Just relax, be yourself, be confident? Wow, some advice that was. I'm just banking on Emmy's intuition being correct. Please be correct, please be correct, please be correct. It has gotten rather colder these days, hasn't it? Ugh, definitely. Winter is such a pain. It definitely makes waking up for tennis practice a bit harder. It sure has its upsides, though. It really makes for the perfect weather to snuggle up indoors with a soothing hot chocolate and a nice book. And seeing all the snow softly fall during the night is really relaxing too, although it gets ruined the next day when people walk through it. Having an end-of-semester exam is such a drag, though. I can't help turning out the conversation. Today's been going so slowly. All throughout the class this morning, I could barely concentrate. I've just been picturing how I can imagine the conversation with Sayuri will go down. Safe to say, that's definitely been the focus on my mind. Emmy shooting me knowing looks every so often didn't do much to staunch the whirlwind of uncertainty in my head. In the club room, we've just finished sharing poems, and I can't wait for the session to end. And people got really mushy around Christmas time as well. You know, like cuddling up together, holding hands, all that stuff. Yuck. You say that like it's a bad thing, Natsuki. Come on, it'd be lovely to have someone to warm you up when the nights get cold. Don't you think? Is that a hint? Or is that just me misinterpreting? Pfft, no way. I can see where both of you are coming from, actually. On one hand, that physical intimacy must be quite nice. On the other, I have to admit, public displays of affection can be a bit overwhelming. Yeah, especially when the couple starts playing tonsil tent. Oh, Natsuki, never change. Start playing tonsil tennis with each other, Monica laughs. Interesting way of putting it, Natsuki. I'm right, though. Save that stuff for when you're at home. But what about presents? There's something that makes Christmas so enjoyable. Buying gifts for each other people and seeing their reactions. There's definitely a rewarding feeling, especially when they really like your choice. Don't you think, Moles? Don't mind me, just trying to figure out how to ask you to be my girlfriend. Oh yeah, everything's fine, you know, just trying to figure out the best way to ask you. Yeah, just trying to decide what to get you guys for Christmas, that's all. Racking my brains, I desperately try to follow up what I've just said. Let's say I had to get you a present, Monica, what would you ask for? Can't buy you a piano, though, sorry. Well, that'd be telling, wouldn't it? It would ruin the mystery. Well, you're always busy with like a billion things going on at once, right? Well, I don't know, maybe a diary or a planner or something. Or a tennis racket. I have no idea. Those aren't bad ideas, actually. It's always difficult buying presents for someone, especially when it's someone you don't particularly know well. You could do well with Monica. A watch? Why? Well, you could do with some free time. One day, serious jokes will get a little funnier. Finally, the school day sure did take its sweet time. While it did drag on, I'd be lying if I said I was ready for what's about to come. Hey, Sayori. Are you busy after school today? No. Well, apart from homework, but I didn't get much today. Okay, well, I never suggest that. Sorry, do you think we can hang out a bit? Stay after school? Please don't pick up on the desperation in my voice. Sure, my place or yours? Yours sounds good. Okay, we haven't spent time together after school in a long time. What made you change your mind? Not that I'm complaining. I'm getting a shrewd suspicion she knows my plan, and it's just going along with it to watch me squirm. Nothing. Oh, you don't have a Christmas tree for us to decorate, do you? It's barely been November, Sari. A bit too early for that. Aw. Anyway, what'd you want to do, Moles? I don't think it's healthy for a human heart to beat this fast. Well, I want to tell you something, Sari. Okay, what's up? It's now or never. I don't really know the best way of saying this. Sari, she's just sitting there patiently waiting for me to speak. There's a hint of intense anticipation lurking in those blue eyes of hers. Taking a deep breath, I stare at the floor. I let my mouth talk before my brain has a chance to catch up. Look, Sari, I really like you, and I'm really sorry if this changes anything between us because I really value our friendship, and I wouldn't want to ruin anything, so I guess it was ever since we were kids. I've always been drawn to you, and, well, seeing you again after these years has been really, really nice, and I'm so glad we get along like the huge gap in our history was never there, and I really like seeing you in that way. And, well, I was just wondering how you felt. Like, do you feel the same way, or... I trail off into nothingness, cringing at how pathetic my confession must have sounded. So much for be confident. The silence is getting overwhelming. Lifting my eyes off the safe heaven that is the floor, I have to force myself to meet her gaze. The expression on her face is hard to read. She's smiling, but at the same time, there's definitely a hint of sadness in her eyes. I should have seen this coming. I guess it's really my own fault. Huh? Fault? What do you mean? I was selfish. Huh? What? I really like you too, Moles. I should be feeling relieved. Happy, even, at hearing those words. Yet I can't help but feel like something is terribly amiss. I think I always have, even when we first met. She smiles warmly at me, but there are tears forming in her eyes that trickle down her face as she blinks. Yeah, this is about how I expected this would go. You've always been so nice to me, even when I didn't deserve it. Even when we drifted apart, you're still willing to talk to me and see how I was doing. You took an interest in the club, even though I didn't think you'd enjoy literature. And at first I was a little unsure. I wasn't sure if things would be like how they were when we were kids. Deep down, I was hoping they would. And over time, I guess I got my wish. Because they did. Your jokes, your personality, just by being around you, every day was walking a reminder of easier times. I don't get, Sari. If you like me, and you're happy with me being around, what's the problem? She shakes her head. It's not that easy. You just don't understand. Of course I don't, Sari. Can you blame me? I can tell there's something going on with you, but every time I try and help, you shut me down. Isn't it a surprise I don't understand? That day before the festival where you wouldn't even talk to anyone, and that day when you were at school. Something wasn't right that day, and it was just a gut feeling. I've always been able to tell when something's wrong, Sari, no matter how much you try to hide it. I really wish you couldn't. That horrible nightmare you had, I know some of the things you were saying. You think you're useless. You don't want to do it anymore. What are you talking about? Please, Sari, just tell me. What's so tiring? What don't you want to do anymore? Why do you think you're useless? Did someone say something nasty to you? I swear, if someone's been saying stuff, tell me. I'll go... You're right, Moles. There is someone. I clutch my fist so hard I can feel my nails digging into my palm. Who? It's me. I blink, stupefied. That was the last response I expected to hear. You? What on earth was that meant to mean? You're saying stuff to yourself? You're just going around in circles here, Sari. Please, enough of the mysteries and the vague answers. I've been honest with you. What could this horrible dark secret be that makes you so useless and unlikable? Depression. I have crippling depression. For the second time I've seen it, I'm a complete lost for words. Huh? There, that's my secret, Moles. You're depressed? I've had depression for most of my life. Oh. Oh. Sorry. That's probably the most lackluster response I could have given you. I'm sorry. Don't be. I wouldn't have expected you to know how to respond. She gives a short, humorous laugh. I don't know what to say. I had no idea. I never would have known. You always seem so happy, cheerful. But I don't get it. I thought you were so happy. She sighs as tears slowly trickle down her cheeks. No, Moles. I never was. It was just a mask. I really tried to keep it up. Her voice wavers as she speaks. Fresh tears fall down her face. But unlike the day of her nightmare, she makes no attempt to hide them. Her secret has been laid bare. Every day, waking up, getting ready, walking to school, all the things that people take for granted. And it's been so scary, so difficult. I was so scared that at any moment, I'd let my mask slip and you'd see the real me. So that's what you were referring to when you said it was tiring, that you didn't want to do it anymore. She nods sadly. And all the other things too, like waking up, and eating too. And eating too. I don't have the energy to cook actual meals. So that's why you went for pizzas and other junk food. God, it's all coming together now. And the whole thing has been so bittersweet. Seeing you again, hanging out like we used to, for the first time in what feels like a long time, I felt something that felt alien to me. Happiness. It wasn't much, but it was something enough to help me through those days. Like when you warmed up my hands. I felt so bad asking you to help, but sometimes I just couldn't help it. It was so hard fighting against what your heart wants, and since it's hard to like you, it terrified me. But why? Because it was getting harder and harder to resist being selfish. Selfish? Selfish in dragging you into my mess. You shouldn't be bothering with someone like me. Part of me wondered if me being so miserable would put you off. Other sad smile. But it doesn't seem like you minded. No, you really stuck around and tried your best to confront me, even though I was horrible to you and kept you at a distance. And now here we are, a situation that's both what I want and fear the most. I'm worthless, Malls. I couldn't care less about myself. I just want the others to be happy. And now I messed that up, because now you know about my depression, and knowing you, you'll definitely worry. I really couldn't win either way. I'm so sorry for dragging you into this, Malls. I tried so hard. But with you here, telling me you like me too? Her voice is a mess at this point, a whirring mess of tears and anguish. For once, I just wanted to embrace that selfishness and be your girlfriend. It's almost like another person who looks like Siri has been talking. No, it is like it's a different person. As she spoke, I was sinking further and further in disbelief. How could it be that my happy, carefree childhood friend was harboring such a sad secret? You're definitely not selfish at all, Sayuri. How could you be? You're one of the most selfless people that I know. You make it your duty to make everyone else happy. I could never not care about you. You're my best friend. I'd do anything to make you happy again. I'm just glad you told me. Why? Oh, just come here. Please don't hug me. Ignoring her cries, I embrace her, holding her close to me. To my surprise, though, she pulls free and pushes me away from her. I didn't even know she had the strength. I'm sorry, Malls. I really can't deal with this right now. Can you please leave? Leave. Sorry, look what you just told me. Do you honestly expect me to just go like it didn't mean anything? Yes. I appreciate the honesty. I stare at her incredulously. Her resolution doesn't change. All sorts of feelings are roaring through my head right now. I'm still trying to process what she just told me. Even after suffering for years, she's still this stubborn. Anger floods through my veins. Probably an reasonable reaction, but at this point, I'm too emotionally charged to listen to reaction like, oh, so that's how it is, right? I'm allowed to tell you my problems, and you're allowed to cheer me up, but I'm not allowed to help you? What kind of friendship is that? You'll never understand. Of course I won't, because you never let anyone in. Is it any surprise I don't understand? I instantly regret raising my voice the moment I leave my mouth. Just go. Please. Without any choice, I leave, dejectedly. Back in my home, my mind is still racing at a million miles. Oh, this is rough. This is rough. Now that the heat of the moment's passed, I genuinely realized that I probably handled that pretty poorly. Yeah, it was frustrating being kept in the dark, then having such a huge bombshell dropped on me, then again being unable to help. But getting angry at her was the worst thing to do. Yes, it was. I feel the need to save for safety. Safety save. Man, I'm such an idiot. Ugh. God damn it, Emmy. So much for female intuition. Well, there's one person who probably should be able to help. Grabbing my phone, I hastily punch in a number and hope she's free. Malls, hi. What's up? Mom, I told Siri how I felt, and it didn't go well. Yeah, but not for the reason you think. I don't really know how to put it like this. I'm still trying to process it myself, so I'll just lay it out. Siri likes me too, but she couldn't bring herself to act on those feelings because she's depressed. There's heavy silence for me. Depressed? I know, Siri, of all people. Oh, I see. My goodness, that's awful. Poor girl. I hope she'll be alright. I really hope she will be. Mom, I acted like such an idiot. What happened? When she told me she was depressed, I tried to comfort her, but then she pushed me away and told me to leave, and I'm kicking myself. Go on. She was gentle. I got angry and I raised my voice. It was just so frustrating not being able to help her. I wasn't thinking straight. Oh, darling, you're not an idiot at all. I understand it must have been frustrating. No, shouting at her wasn't the best idea, but it's not like you to set out to hurt her, right? Well, no. It happens during arguments, don't worry. There are so many other things, too. She said she feels worthless. She felt selfish and even telling me what's going on. Ah, so that explains why she rejected your hug. There's a sign on the other end. Sweetheart, this must be so difficult for both of you. It must feel so overwhelming. Believe me, I know what your situation is like. You do? Mm-hmm. I once dated someone with depression, and it wasn't easy. It's one of the hardest things to watch someone who we love suffer like that. And we just don't understand it when they say such negative things about themselves. It was horrible, Mom. I didn't even feel like Sayuri was talking. I just never saw it coming. I mean, I knew that something was going on with her. And I just thought having days when you're in a low mood were normal, you know? Well, from what I gathered, she's awfully convincing at wearing that facade. If it's any consolation, I don't think anyone could have guessed that she was depressed. Either way, the worst thing about depression is probably that it's just so loud and convincing. It's got a horrible tendency to dominate the thoughts of whoever's got it, and it can be really hard for them to take off the depression tinted glasses. It's an illness, and unfortunately, mental illness can be just as significant as physical ones. Sometimes I wish this country would recognize. So what can I do for her? What do I do? Can I even do anything? You definitely can help her out. I don't mean to make you feel like you're powerless or anything. It's okay. I'm glad you're being honest, I guess. It's just kind of hard to realize exactly what we're dealing with here, so help to be informed. You become very mature, Moles. I'm proud on how well you're handling this. I'm not handling this well at all, Mom. I have no idea how to react. I shouted at her and she was in tears. Would anyone who isn't a mental health professional know how to deal with this? What you've just been told? Anyway, the most important advice I can give you is not expect a quick fix. Depression isn't something that can be fixed with love. It isn't your job to fix her, but you can still help her. I was starting to think that I was totally useless here. Of course not, darling. She loves you as well, don't forget. It won't be all doom and gloom. You'll have days that things will be normal, days where she really isn't faking her mood. And then you'll also have days where she won't have energy to get out of bed, days where she won't feel like talking to anyone. And it's really important that you're as patient and understanding as you can be during those days. Oh, and communication's a big one. That goes for any relationship, really. It sounds really obvious, but talk to her. Let her tell you how she sees the world, and what her thoughts are, feelings and fears. There's going to be problems, there's going to be fights. Those are healthy and part of any relationship. If something's bugging you or something's bothering her, just talk it out. Communication is the key to a successful relationship, believe me. I can't help but laugh. You sound like one of those relationship gurus. It's a mother's job to guide her children, you know. As an aside, never underestimate how helpful it can be just to listen to someone's problems and worries. Just having someone listen can be so helpful, more than you could ever realize. Funny you mention that, because I was going to ask Sayuri to see a therapist or a doctor. Yes, I think that'd probably be for the best. Although things like therapy and medication don't always work for everyone. It's tempting to see it as a magical fix, but just remember it'll take time. There's so much more I want to discuss, but unfortunately you've caught me at a really bad time. It seems like times like these in particular, I feel awful for not being around. It'd be really nice to see you, Mom, I won't lie. I'm really hoping I can come visit soon. And for what it's worth, you're much stronger than you realize, and I'm very proud. Just remember that, okay? I'll try. Give it a day or two before you talk to her, by the way. I think she'll need a bit of time to cool off. I'm sure that if you apologize for getting angry and rationally explain your side of things, she'll come around. She never struck me as a girl who could hold a grudge. Emotions are running high from what I can gather, and she'll understand it. And I know it seems really bleak right now, but it'll be okay, Moles. I just know it. I really hope so, Mom. I just remember that your support will be just as important as what a doctor or a therapist can offer her. You've really got such a big heart. Show her just how big that heart really is. I love you. Love you too, Mom, and thanks for everything. Anytime, ring me whenever you need help, okay? But rarely I flop onto the sofa. Feels like such a lot happened in such a short amount of time. I just hope Sayuri and I can patch things up. Man, am I glad that it's Saturday today. There would be no chance in hell that I'd be able to concentrate if today were a school day. Her revelation keeps replaying over and over in my mind. Depression, a nasty-sounding word, and in some ways, quite foreign. I guess I was kind of sheltered. Prior to Sayuri, I never knew any people with the condition. It was something I was, of course, aware of, but I never really paid any attention to it. I mean, I knew what it was. Psychology has always been at least vaguely interesting to me, but I never really saw a real person to look into it. And Sayuri said she's been depressed for most of her life. So I can't help but wonder, when did it all develop? What caused it? Was she bullied? Or did a close friend or family member die? There's so many things I want to ask her right now, but as Mom said, it's best to give Sayuri some time to cool off. I'll give her a couple days. Besides, I've got a ton of homework to be getting on with. Well, that's Sakurai's out of the way first. At the end of the war he had a huge effect on the war, and the time to break for it. Want to play? What to play? It really is the first problem to have a first world problem, I imagine it's supposed to say. It has so many games available, but still not know what to play. Colorful looking title catches my eye. Man, not even escapism from video games is doing the trick. I've had days like that. It can be rough. Perhaps I should go for a walk instead. Being cooped up indoors probably isn't doing me any favors for my health. My mom used to harp on about the importance of fresh air. I sat up and stretched, wearily rubbing my neck. Yeah, some fresh air wouldn't go amiss. At this point in the day, the park is rather quiet. Not as many people come to this part of the park anyway, which is a shame because this part is arguably the prettiest thanks to the lake. Being in the middle of November, there's definitely a chill in the air, although I'm wrapped up warm so I can barely feel it. There's a comfortable lull in the air, especially after the overwhelming nature of the last night. The silence is a perfect antidote, being therapeutic and calm. Sure, I have the house to myself, but there's no substitute for fresh, cool air. Maybe my parents were right when they kept up that healthy body, healthy mind mantra. As calm as the atmosphere is, it's not doing much for the whirlwind that's in my mind. Looking back, how could I have been so stupid? How did I miss all the signs? Am I really that dense? Thinking about it, the fairy tale poem makes so much sense now. The selflessness, the devotion to keeping others happy, regardless of her own mental state. The signs were all there, struggling to wake up on time, which explains why she was always late, and the nightmare. And when she finally told me her most painful secret, how did I respond? By shouting at her and making her cry. Great friend you are, Malls. No wonder she didn't want you to tell me in the first place. I was so pushy, so demanding, and when she told me, instead of being empathetic and understanding, I did the exact opposite. It wouldn't surprise me if she didn't want to be friends anymore. Would she ever forgive me? Although whether she should or not is a whole other question. Even if she did forgive me, what could I ever do about her depression? Her self-perception seems so cemented. Would I be making things worse by getting involved? Or maybe I would be able to help her. I don't know. Being a normal teenage guy doesn't really afford me much sensibility, even though it might sound a bit melodramatic. I can't help but feel I barely even know Sayuri anymore. As much as her happiness is just a mask, it can't all be. Malls? Being so lost in thought, I didn't even notice her presence. Oh hey, Yuri. Didn't see you there. I'm not bothering you, am I? You look rather deep in thought. Oh, you're fine. It would be nice to have some company, actually. She smiles shyly and takes a seat next to me. The accompanying silence is not awkward in the slightest, which surprises me. Then again, Yuri is no stranger to deep thoughts herself, and she's definitely used to being reflective and quiet. I didn't expect to see you here. Didn't expect me to come to a quiet park when it's getting dark, especially in the middle of winter, huh? Not really, no. The dark and cold combined tend to put most people off. If you don't mind me asking, what brings you here? Well, there's a lot on my mind, and I figured some fresh air would do me some good, you know? I see. Perhaps I'm more aching I like than I first imagined. Whenever I'm troubled by something, I always find a quiet period of reflection in the evening can be really helpful. Something about the stillness of the night. It's much easier to think when you're in an environment such as this one. Yeah, it is, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. It helps just to take a break, step back, breathe. I've actually known this park for as long as I can remember. My parents used to take Sayuri in here all the time. Countless memories throughout the years. That sounds wonderful, Malls. To be able to share happy times with someone as you both grow up. Although I'm curious, given how much you two seem to spend with one another, I would have thought Sayuri would be with you now. I looked down momentarily, poking at a tree with my shoe. Well, we kinda had a fight. Oh, that comes as quite a surprise given how close you two seem to be. Then again, I suppose it's inevitable that fights occur between people, no matter their dynamics. Yuri starts fiddling with her hair. Not that I mean to pry, but may I ask why you had a fight in the first place? I grimace as I reply. As much as I enjoy talking to Yuri, and I appreciate her company here, there's no way I can reveal Sayuri's company. It's not that I don't want to tell you, and it's nothing personal. I understand completely, Malls. I suppose it was a rather personal question. She just told me something really private, and the horrible feeling of shame bubbles up whenever I recount how I reacted to her confession. I didn't take it very well. I said some really stupid stuff. I got angry, and I shouted at her. I was an awful friend. I lean forwards, burying my face in my hands. There's an awkward, heavy silence. Malls, you know I haven't known you for as long as Sayuri's have, but please believe me when I say you're not an awful friend. I don't know what's been said between you two, but everyone says things they don't mean during arguments, especially when tensions are running high. That's something my parents once told me, and it really is true. If you take my argument with Natsuki back in September, in the heat of the moment I said some rather hurtful things. However, I didn't actually mean them, and I'm fairly confident Natsuki feels the same way too. Please don't be too hard on yourself. I can tell that Sayuri means a lot to you, and you're ever so patient and kind with her. If I may be so bold to say, perhaps you don't realize it, but you do a lot for her. Little things, such as walking to school with her in the mornings and walking her home in the afternoons. But most importantly, whenever she's feeling sad, you really take it upon yourself to find out what's wrong so you can comfort her. We can all see that you care, and your consideration for her shines like a beacon. Yeah, that's all well and good, but I still hurt her really badly. Friends always hurt each other, Malls. It's just an unfortunate reality of being human. From what I can gather, she isn't someone who can hold a grudge. So, whatever issue there is between you guys, I'm confident you'll be able to sort it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound presumptuous or anything. You've not really been presumptuous in the slightest, sorry. Your insight's been pretty on point and really refreshing. I still feel bad when you've made me realize that perhaps things aren't as bleak as they seem. So thank you, seriously, it means a lot. You've been a really good friend. Well, thank you, Malls. I'm glad I was able to help. I can't help but grin. Yuri's shyness has always been endearing, especially as it clashes against her intelligent, mature outlook oh so well. Anyway, I could ask you the same question. What brings you here? Well, it's okay. You don't have to disclose anything. I won't pry. But just know that if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. And so are the other girls, okay? I remember how horrible those people during the festival recital were to you, and I hate to think that you were suffering in silence or anything like that. Malls, you truly are too kind. I very much appreciate your words. I'm very glad that Sayuri told you about our club. I know I said it back in September, but honestly, I'll say it again. I'm just grateful that you guys accepted me with open arms. You didn't judge me because I wasn't a poet, nor did you ever laugh at how bad my poems were. I know they weren't particularly to your taste, but you still gave me good advice and feedback. Well, I believe that everyone could be included. No one deserves to be an outcast, irrespective of their hobbies, interests, or their writing ability. I just wish others would be as accepting and inclusive of those interests that go against the norm. She's nervously picking at her sleeve, almost pulling them up to her hands. Well, for what it's worth, I think your interest in horror and taste in literature and poetry is pretty cool, Yuri. It makes for a nice change of discussion and gives you an interesting stuff to talk about. It's like when we discussed Frankenstein's monster with me at lunchtime. I never really gave it much thought, but after you had that talk with me, it helped me realize that we shouldn't take stuff at face value. Oh, and your poems are awesome. I hope that one day I'll be able to write at your level. That really means a lot. I'm glad you have such an open mind, Malls. In this day and age, to find a mind so free of prejudice and misconception, it truly is a breath of fresh air. Thank you. Anyway, I don't mean to cut short our discussion, but unfortunately I have a lot of homework to be getting on with. Yeah, me too. Procrastination only get you so far, eh? Catch you later, Yuri. Hope everything gets better. And you too, Malls. With a wave, we both depart. Bum 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 ba-dum. I'm engaged. This is good. This is pretty good. Like, I still feel like the writing kind of repeats itself a little too often. I apologize. But it's still pretty good. Another day at school. At least it's mid-November now, so the Christmas break isn't too far off. After finishing my morning route, I head outside, tentatively waiting for Sayuri. Yuri's words were helpful, but I was naive to think things would just go back to normal. There's no signs of Sayuri, and I feel like texting her is off the table. With a sigh, I make my journey to school alone. Learning about the interwar years should by all means be interesting. Even with Sakurai's enthusiasm and humor interjecting into the class, I can't find myself enthusiastic about the topics he's discussing. Despite my best efforts to remain occupied over the weekend, the worry I have for Sayuri was always there, lurking at the back of my mind. I hate this silence. Not being able to talk to someone you really want to talk to is crushing. Ah, Malls, I don't suppose you'd be able to answer that question, huh? Please don't tell me I'm such a boring teacher that you can't even pay attention. If word got out that I was sending my students into a stupor, I'd get fired on the spot, though I'd probably do well in the hypnosis business. There's a slight smattering of laughter. He's still looking at me expectantly, as I force a grin on my face. Sorry, sir, I didn't understand the question. Could you repeat it? He does so, and I answer. He nods approvingly, although there's traces of concern in his features. The rest of the lesson drags on, for what feels like a snail's pace. We're supposed to be taking notes from our notebook and answering the question, but my mind has been on autopilot ever since I woke up this morning. By all accounts, the progress I've made has been pretty mediocre. Everything okay, Malls? He's keeping his voice low and quiet, crouching next to me. You don't seem quite yourself today. Pardon me if that's an innocent, incorrect assessment. He motions towards my notes. You're normally ahead of the game when it comes to classwork. Not that I mind too much. Everyone's allowed to slack now and then, right? He chuckles, but I barely even respond. Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I had a long weekend. Might as well attempt to stab at humor. And by a long weekend, no, I don't mean staying up playing video games. That's a shame. Those kinds of weekends are the best ones. Anyway, just do your best for now. We've got a good grasp on the topic, so don't worry about it too much for now. Just make sure you know the material for the December exams. Got it, sir. Thank you. Phew, I was expecting some kind of stern telling off about my lack of progress. Bell's about to ring, everyone. We'll call it there. As I make my way outside, I spot a familiar white bow. Hey, Malls. About to head to lunch, huh? Yeah. I'm really sorry, but I won't be coming to the club today. She raises an eyebrow. Oh, why's that? Really honest with you, I'm really not in the mood for it. There's just some stuff I need to sort out, and if I come, I don't think I'd be very good company anyway. She nods, but it's hard to read the expression on her face. Okay, that's understandable. By the way, you haven't seen Sayuri around, have you? She didn't come to school today. Do you know why? Funny she'd ask that. No clue, sorry. Strange. Well, I hope you sort out whatever it is that's bugging you again soon. Thanks. And sorry once again for bailing. It's okay. It'll be a quiet session today, I guess. Well, with 3 of us. It'll be interesting to see what it's like. Anyway, I gotta go. See you around, Malls. See ya. Why do I get the nagging feeling that she's judging me for something? Oh well. Much like the walk to school, the return journey feels equally empty. When I'm pain and guilt, I remember all the little jobs I used to fire her way without being lazy and unable to get out of bed. Why is it that our brains are so good at reminding us of things we said or did we usually regret? A tiny voice of reason within me tells that I had no way of knowing why she struggled to get up on time. I mean, it's not like I set out to hurt her with my jokes. It's kind of playful banter just characterizes our friendship. I just wish I could believe that tiny voice of reason a little more. This is sad. As I make my way to the house, I notice a figure standing by my doorway. I roll my eyes and suppress a groan. I'm really not in any mood to deal with some religious nutter trying to get me to believe in God. Wait, hang on. That's Sayuri? Sayuri? My head shoots up at the sound of my voice. Oh, that's a cute outfit. I like that. What are you doing here? The sight in front of me is utterly unexpected. Neither of us know what to say. The aftermath of our previous encounter still lingers in the air. Can I come in? Yeah, sure. Thanks. After dumping my school stuff down, I turn to face her. The awkwardness doesn't dissipate. There's so much I want to say, but I don't know where to start. I'm really sorry, Mulls. Tears immediately.
Oh man, I'm getting sad. This is rough. So sad.
Tears immediately fill Sayuri's eyes, and the powerful desire to embrace her hints to me once more. I really shouldn't have kicked you out like that. I've been so horrible to you, keeping you in the dark. I was just so scared, and the whole thing is just so confusing. No, Sayuri. It's me who should be apologizing. I'm so sorry for being so pushy, for shouting at you, for being such a lousy friend. I've been regretting how I acted on Friday ever since. Please don't hate me. Sayuri tumbles into my arms, sobbing without restraint. I could never hate you, silly. You're my best friend. I was so scared that after our fight that I'd pushed you away. I can feel my heart break as she sobs and clings to me. Instinctively, I wrap my arms around her and hold her close. Sayuri, you're so silly sometimes, you know that? You could never push me away. I'm your best friend. Although recently I've been wondering if I deserve to be. Huh? Why? I shouted at you. I made you cry. A few of my own tears have started to leak. With concern etched all over her face, she leans forward and carefully brushes a tear away. It's the last thing I wanted to do. I hate myself for it. Mulls, it's okay. Looking back, I really can't blame you. It must have been so frustrating. From your perspective, I just want things to go back to normal. Please, can we put all of this behind us? It's like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, just by hearing those words. Of course we can. And here I was thinking you didn't want to be friends anymore. I could never stay mad at you, Mulls. You mean too much to me. Can we agree that we're both a bunch of clowns, and we're as bad as each other? Sayuri gives a watery smile. She clings to me a little harder. That sounds fair. And to hear that laugh again. I'll always be here for you, okay? Even though I can be dense, and I can be an idiot at the best of times. That will never change. She looks up, her eyes swimming with tears. Even with tear marks all down her face and tousled hair, she still looks absolutely beautiful. You really mean that? I gently thumb away one of her tears. Of course I do. She burrows once more into my chest. It feels incredibly intimate to be able to hold her in this state of vulnerability. So that's why you waited outside my house. Yeah, I really wanted to see you, but I couldn't face school today, and I wasn't sure if you even wanted to see me. Her voice is slightly muffled as it talks into my shirt. It's kind of funny when you think about it. We both thought the other person didn't want to see us, and we both really wanted to see each other. Sayuri, what are we like? She goes into my chest at such a close distance. I can actually feel the vibration from her laughter. Yuri told me that she didn't think you were the kind of person to stay angry for long. She looks up. Yuri? Yeah, I bumped into her over the weekend while I was at the park. Needed some fresh air at night. Don't worry, I didn't reveal much. I just told her we had a fight. She was really empathetic and understanding. Ah, that sounds like her. She's such a dependable friend. Anyway, I guess she's right. I hate conflict, and I don't like staying angry at people. What's that? Well, that's a super convenient for an idiot like me, isn't it? I was going to try and find you earlier, but I thought I should give it a little bit of time first. Well, we're both here now. I'm so glad you came to find me. And I'm super glad we made up. Oh, I got your shirt super wet. Sorry about that. All good. Not the first time you spilled something on me now, is it? Oh, you mean that one time with... What up, Sayuri? One time. Okay, you made your point, Meanie. You both share a laugh. My god, does it feel good to hear. Just like that, all the tension and stress I've been carrying over the past few days has lessened. I feel like I can finally breathe again. Anyway, look, Sayuri, I had some time to think about what you told me on Friday. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand depression at all. And I can't imagine what you're going through. But what I do know is I'll do my best to be there for you, even if it's just as your friend. I know you said you let me too, but you weren't sure about your feelings, so you can go whatever pace you want to go at, if you even want to go at all. It's really frustrating because I do like you, Mulls, I really do. She bites her lip anxiously. I'd hate to drag you down, to get you involved with my mess. I know you see it like that, Sayuri, but I see it completely differently. No one is forcing me to make my decision. I'm choosing to get involved because I want to, because I like you, and I don't see you as a burden at all. Think of all the times where you've helped me feel better, all the other girls in the club. You're so good at keeping everyone's spirits high, breaking up fights, restoring the peace. Would it really be so wrong for me to give something back to you? I know you don't see it, but to me, you're worth an awful lot, and I care about you so much. But Mulls, there are so many other things, other people out there. who are way more worthy of your time. None of those people are you, though. No one else on this planet could ever replace you. I grew up with you, Sayori, and you're my best friend for a reason. All of the happy memories we shared, the jokes, stories, the adventures, I share them with you, and only you. You're such a big reason as to why my childhood was so happy. Really? Of course. We used to see each other like every day. Our parents used to say we were inseparable, and here we are now. Even after years apart, we get along like nothing ever happened. So believe me when I say you're very special to me, and you've got a heart of gold, whether you can see it or not. Oh, Moles. She started to sniffle again. No one has ever said something like that to me before. Well, I'm glad to be the first. I'm still unsure, and it's still really confusing, but your hugs are really comforting. They make me feel like everything might be okay, if just for a few moments. I know what you want me to say, but I don't know. I still feel like I'm being selfish. I thought you, like me, would make the rain clouds in my head go away. It's like there's a little ray of sunshine now, but it's still raining. Even though Mom told me that depression has no quick fix, Sayori words still disappoint me. Mom did say it wouldn't be easy. Guess I'm really starting to find out just how difficult this can be. That's okay, Sayori. I guess it was naive of me to think that I could just come in and fix everything. That would be nice, though. I guess we just start by taking everything really slowly. Like, could we not jump into going on dates or telling everyone we're together just yet? Of course. Whatever pace you want to go with, like I said. I'm not making the wrong decision, though, am I? Just please tell me if I'm being a burden. I won't hold it against you. I'm just reminded of the original game when the protagonist said the worst shit you could ever say to a depressed person. It's so bad. It's so bad. This is a lot better. Just please tell me if I'm being a burden, and I won't hold it against you if you didn't want to be with me anymore. You don't have to worry about it at all. Trust me. Although as much as I like you, I don't want you going through with this just because it's what I want. No, I kind of want to too. Kinda? I do want it. I just can't shake off the feeling that I'm not worth your time. And even though what you said just now really helped, feeling worthless is something I felt for a long time. It's hard to shake off that feeling. And by being with you, the rain clouds don't feel as bad. It'll be okay, Sayori. I just know it will. I'll see you through this storm, and I'll be your umbrella. That's actually one of the sweetest things you've ever said to me. Poetic, too. Looks like the literature club is really rubbing off on me. I know, right? I'll definitely be the next Shakespeare, just you wait. Anyway, I guess it's the best we're taking things slow because December exams are coming up. Much as I don't really want to. We should probably both be focusing on those. Yeah, you're right. But once they're over, I take her hand, locking her fingers in mine. We'll just have to wait, won't we? Anyway, speaking of work, I should probably get started with the revision. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll see you later, okay? Okay. I hold my arms out and embrace once more. Oh, to be able to hold her close to me, inhaling her scent, playing with a strand of her hair. It's heaven. Before I can stop myself, I plant a soft kiss on her forehead and break free, closing the door before my mind catches up to my lips. I swear I can hear a soft giggle as she closes the door behind her. That was cute. That was good. I like that. I like that scene a lot. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum. I think I'm gonna call it here for today. As much as I want to see what happens next, because I was very much intrigued, we're gonna call it quits for today. I hope everyone had a good time. Make sure to like and follow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Love y'all. See you.